Welcome, one and all, and happy Father's Day to this Sunday edition of Yakima Valley Pippins baseball here on the road at Chemeketa Community College baseball field as the Marion Berries and the Yakima Valley Pippins play for the final time in the 2026 regular season. Again, happy Father's Day, everybody. My name's Harmon Johnsen. I'm your voice of the Yakima Valley Pippins here in this 2026 season. It's a beautiful day at the ballpark. A good day to bring dad out or pull him up next to your phone, your computer, your TV, whatever you're going to be listening to us on, either on the Pippins YouTube or on pippinsbaseball.mixler.com. The Pippins come into this game at an even 500, 10-10 on the season. They're 5 games back of first place. The Ridgefield Raptors coming into the day, we're 15-5, although we have a few games that are underway and complete already on this Father's Day. So we'll be updating you as we get those scores coming in here to Chemeketa. The Pippins getting a win last night thanks to the heroics of Parker Burt playing in his first game in 5 games for the Pippins. He played on Sunday up in Edmonton, left early with an injury, and then in the 8th inning hit a 2-run home run to give the Pippins the lead. They held on to it 4-3, as then Yakima Valley would get the 4th save of the season out of the right arm of John Witt. The Pippins had 4 runs on 7 hits, no errors, and they left 8 men on base. The Berries had 3 runs on 6 hits, no errors, and they left 12 men on base. The win went to Francisco Lopez. The loss went to Dex Teixeira. And the save, of course, going to John Witt. And so you turn the page to today. The Pippins with a chance to win a series. They've dropped 3 straight series after opening the year with 3 series wins. And so Yakima Valley trying to get back into the positive side of the series column and actually trying to win a season series today as well. The Pippins took 2 out of 3 from the Berries up in Yakima. That was earlier on this summer. And so if a win today means that the Pippins would take the season series over the Berries and hold the tiebreaker should these two teams be close at the end of the year come playoff time. For the Berries, 9-11 now on the season. Remember, they got out to that roaring start, 5-1 starting the season. They've cooled off since. They are 3-7 in their last 10 contests, including a loss last night to the Pippins. And the Pippins going to try to head home happy on this road trip, trying to pick up a winning road trip for the first time since the first one of the year, going down to Springfield, taking 2 of 3 against the Drifters, who currently sit at the bottom of the West Coast League South standings. I mentioned there were some games that were already being played today, so here is your scoreboard for the West Coast League today. We've got 3 final scores already in, 3 games that are about to start or are in progress, and then a couple games later on in about a half an hour. So earlier today, the Ridgefield Raptors, who I mentioned were in first place in the West Coast League South, swept the Walla Walla Sweets. They beat the Sweets 6-4. And so the Raptors now 16-5 on the season means that the Pippins are a full 6 games back right now as we stand. But with the Walla Walla loss, they drop now to 11-10. And if the Yakima Valley Pippins can win here this afternoon, they would be in a tie for second place in the West Coast League South. Corvallis also at 10-10. And so if you're a Pippins fans, you want to be able to cheer on the Edmonton Riverhawks, even though the Riverhawks took 2 out of 3 from the Pips earlier on this summer. That game about to start. We'll get starting lineups here in a moment as the folks here at Chemeketa get ready for the national anthem. We'll take a break and we'll be back. Please wait. Welcome back to Chemeketa Community College ball field. Harmon Johnsen with you as pregame rolls along as we get ready for the Berries and the Pippins here in game number 21 of the West Coast League season. Here are the starting lineups for both squads as announced by their respective managers. Tucker Brock in his second season for the Marion Berries will send out the following. Leading off, playing center field, number 3, Danny Weidman. Batting second, the left fielder, number 14, Noah Scherer. Batting third, the designated hitter, number 11, Martin Serrano. Batting cleanup, the shortstop, number 40, Tyler Dunning. Batting fifth, the second baseman, number 18, Kyson Barney. Batting sixth, the first baseman, number 19, Cale Barney. Batting seventh, number 29, the third baseman, Taryn Carlson. Batting eighth, the catcher, number 36, Nolan Rowe. And batting ninth, the right fielder, number 44, Damari Hall. So again, for the Berries, it's Weidman, Scherer, Serrano, Dunning, Barney, and Barney, Carlson, Rowe, and Hall. The starting pitcher today will be Colton Amai Nakagawa, making his second start of the season against the Pippins, third start overall. And now for the Yakima Valley Pippins, as announced by Pippins head coach Kyle Crestangel, he will send out a very similar lineup to yesterday, just a couple of changes though. Tyson Miller leads it off. He will continue to play left field in this series. He wears number 3. Batting second is Daichi Furuhata. He wears number 26. He will play second base today. Batting third, the first baseman, number 17, Nick Velasquez. Batting cleanup, the designated hitter, number 25, Parker Burt, who had that 2-run shot to give the Pippins the lead, the eventual win in last night's game. Batting fifth, the right fielder, number 15, Luis Garcia. Batting sixth, the center fielder, Jay O'Neill, back at the outfield grass. He wears number 7. Batting seventh is the shortstop, number 16, Derek Almeida. Batting eighth, the catcher, number 51, Jackson Upton. And batting ninth over at the hot corner tonight is Cole Hubka. He wears number 6. So again for the Pippins, Miller, Furuhata, Velasquez, Burt, Garcia, O'Neill, Almeida, Upton, and Hubka. Their starter will be Sam Burgess, who will be making his second start on the season. Burgess, a southpaw, who pitched up in Edmonton on Sunday. The umpires tonight in this contest are Derek Dunbar behind the plate and Perry Schofield out in the field. Pippins trying to get on a couple of wins back to back. 10-10 is their record so far this season. They're 5 games, now 6 games back of first place in the WCL South. Richfield Raptors running away with the division and could clinch on Tuesday if the right folks lose today. Pippins 5-6 on the road, and so trying to get back to an even 500 in that category. Yakima Valley dropped their last road trip up to Ridgefield and Edmonton. 2-4 was their record. And then the first road trip of the year was down to Springfield. The Pippins took 2 out of 3 against the Drifters, taking games 2 and 3 of that series. Pippins looking to get a win and get on the positive side here in Salem, because when they head home on Tuesday, it's going to be a tough week. 3 games against the number 1 team in the WCL North, the Wenatchee Apple Sox, are on deck Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And so going to be a tough task to keep the Apple Sox, Battle of the Apples, at bay. And then to close out the first half of the season, the Pippins will host the Kelowna Falcons. And the Falcons currently sitting in 4th place in the WCL North. It's going to be a tough battle with them. Pippins seeing their second Canadian team of the year next Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to finish out the first half schedule. We still wait for the home team to be announced as starters here on this Father's Day. They do things a little bit backwards here in Chemeketa, but eventually baseball will be played. First pitch scheduled at 5:15 p.m. Pippins wearing their blue uniforms today. They won in them yesterday, and so no reason to change up what went well yesterday. Yakima Valley hoping for a little bit more run support. Away from home, the run support has not been the greatest. Pippins got 5 runs on 8 hits on Friday night, but they left 10 on the base pads. Last night, only 4 runs on 7 hits. They left 8 on the base pads. They were able to hold the Berries to 3, though. Marion had scored 9 in their first contest. That's the second time that the Berries have scored 9 runs in a win against the Pippins this season, excuse me. And so we're going to have baseball here in just a moment with no ads. I apologize that we kind of ramble on here at the beginning of the game, but now the Berry is going to be announced. Something to say here on this Father's Day is, of course, happy Father's Day to my dad, Dwayne, who actually just landed in Yakima a couple hours ago. Look forward to seeing him and my mom this week as they come up for the Wenatchee series. Hopefully the trip wasn't too bad. Of course, happy Father's Day to my grandfather as well out in Stapleton, Nebraska. Gary, hope you're having a good evening. Hope that grandma made something good for you. It's, of course, 7:15 out in Central Time Zone, so hopefully I'm not keeping you guys awake either. And not saying you go to bed at 7 o'clock, but I know that these West Coast time starts for all of my games can be a toll on my family back home. So appreciate you staying up late and listening and watching the games. Very appreciative of everything that all the father figures in my life have done for me. A lot of coaches, a lot of support at the University of Nebraska Lincoln as well. I have so many great men in my life that have impacted who I am, and hopefully everybody listening has at least one father figure that they can go back and say thank you to on this Father's Day. The Berries take the field. Colton Amai Nakagawa is about to toe the slab. The left-hander, 8 1/3 innings pitched on the season so far. 7 hits, 6 runs, 5 of them earned, 4 walks, and 7 strikeouts for Amai Nakagawa. Nakagawa, a native Hawaiian, and so he will wear number 31 today. The Berries wearing an interesting uniform combination. They're wearing whites, but their white uniforms have red accents everywhere. They have red numerals on the back, red belt, red stripe on the white pants down the side, red berries and script on the front. They've got white caps with red bills. And it's a little bit of an alternate identity for the Berries, not in terms of mascot, but just in terms of colors. The red representing more of the traditional raspberry color. Of course, a Marion berry is a cross and a distant relative to a raspberry that was founded here in the Willamette Valley back in the 1970s. So the Berries paying homage to that and wearing more of a raspberry color today versus a true Marion berry color. The Pippins will send up Tyson Miller, Daichi Furuhata, and Nick Velasquez first here in the top of the first inning. Pippins wearing, like I mentioned earlier, their road blues with the white numerals on the back, white block Pippins across the chest, the stick logo with the Pippin apple hanging down on the left chest as well. They'll wear blue lids and green batting helmets to go along with gray pants today for the Pippins down in the third base dugout. Berries occupy the first base dugout. And the throw goes down to second base, meaning we're about to start this contest here on this Father's Day. Defense behind Amai Nakagawa is Scherer in left, Weidman in center, Hall in right, Carlson, Dunning, Barney, and Barney. Kyson Barney at second, Cale Barney at first. From third to first, the defense, Nolan Rowe doing the catching as Tyson Miller strolls up to the left-hand batter's box, and we get ready for ball on a gorgeous Sunday afternoon. A little bit earlier of a start time than we've had the last couple of days. First pitch about to be thrown here in Salem. Amai Nakagawa works out of the stretch with nobody on, and his first pitch misses down and away for ball one at exactly 5:15 p.m. here in Salem. You could see a lot of the heat radiating off of this turf field as the second offering is down and away, 2-0. The temperature itself, not terrible, 79 degrees. But the sun is beating down on clear skies, and the wind is much calmer than it was the last 2 days, north-northeast at 8 miles an hour. 2-0 pitch to Tyson, a fastball on the outer half, called a strike by Derek Dunbar. So overall, a pretty still day here in Salem. There is a little bit of a breeze whipping around. Tyson ahead in the count, 2-1. Here comes the pitch. It's upstairs, a breaking ball. And the count moves to 3 balls and 1 strike. Miller would love to get aboard here as a leadoff man for the Pippins. He grounded out in his first at-bat yesterday, trying to change that here. The 3-1 is a fastball yanked glove side, down and out, ball 4. Yakima Valley has a leadoff base runner in the form of the speedy Tyson Miller from CSU Bakersfield. So to bring up Daichi. Furuhata had a hit last night. 333 batting average for Daichi as Mai Nakagawa winds and fires. A pitch on the ground out toward short. Dunning going to flip to second for 1. Tyson slides. The throw is high and it goes into the netting. Furuhata will stop at first. They're going to put a tag on, but Daichi definitely did not turn towards second base. So it's a fielder's choice. Furuhata trades places with Tyson Miller at first base. The throw just sailing from Kyson Barney. Otherwise, they would have had a surefire double play. Back to the left side of the batter's box. Here is Nick Velasquez. Velasquez also batting .333 for the Pippins. Just a couple extra at-bats, though. First pitch, a slow slider on the outer half. It's called strike 1. Velasquez, with his .333 batting average, has 22 hits. This is his 19th game out of 21 for the Pippins. 0-1. Serving it over on the left side, foul out of play. And right off of a windshield. That thing is cracked. I watched it hit. Good luck getting a new windshield. That is smack dab in the middle of the glass. And that's why you should park facing the street. 0-2 pitch, a fastball upstairs, 1 ball and 2 strikes. That's an expensive mistake, parking facing towards the ballpark. That poor gray sedan. 1-2. Breaking ball that Nick serves the opposite way. They were shifted in the outfield. This is going to go all the way to the corner. Daichi rounds second. He's going to go into third standing up. Nick Velasquez with his third double of the series, and the Pippins have him at second and third with only 1 away. A line drive by Nick down to the left field pole. And it's set up perfectly here for Parker Burt. Parker leading the West Coast League in batting average at .458. He was only 1 for 3 last night, but the 1 was his 4th home run of the year. First pitch, a fastball down and in. 1 ball and no strikes to Burt. A .458 batting average, a .525 on base percentage, and a slugging percentage of .792. Burt, standing tall in the right-hand batter's box, sees a fastball on the inside part of the plate. It's 1-1 as it's called a strike by Derek Dunbar. 22 hits for Parker, 4 doubles, 4 long balls. He's got 15 RBI. 1-1. Breaking ball, served the opposite way, down the right field line, into foul territory. 1 hops off the warning track and into the netting. Parker taking a stroll around the foul territory on the right side, the left side rather, his right. Everybody resets. It's now 1 ball and 2 strikes with only 1 out. Deep fly ball would give the Pippins the early lead here in this contest. We're just underway. Mai Nakagawa with 6 runs given up on this season through 8 1/3 innings. This is his 3rd start. The 1-2 sliced right by Panch's head over in the first base coaching box, foul, still 1-2. Panch with that skull cap didn't really even flinch. You've got Daichi over at third, Nick at second. Pippins with 1 hit and a walk so far. The 1 out was a force out at second base. The 1-2, Parker serves it straight back into the netting. Had a fastball at the top of the zone, but the count going to stay at 1-2. Parker just got enough. Well, last night in the 8th inning, Burt really picked his spot, and Dex Teixeira, the reliever at the time, put it in the happy zone for Park. Another 1-2 upcoming. Wave and a miss on a slider. Burt wasn't looking off speed, and so he swung somewhat awkwardly. 2 away, and here comes Luis Garcia. Garcia batting .263 for Yakima Valley. He has played in now 19 of the team's 21 games. First pitch, sliced right over the head of the first baseman, Barney, and into right field. Daichi scores. Here comes Nick around third. He's going to step on the plate. A 2-out, 2 RBI single by Luis Garcia gives the Pippins the early 2-0 lead. Perfectly sliced the other way by Luis. And Barney didn't hop quite high enough to get there. RBIs number 7 and 8 on the season for Garcia. Here comes Jay O'Neill. Luis with a one-step lead at first. O'Neill taking a first pitch strike from Colton Amai Nakigawa. Way back when these two teams played up in Yakima, Amai Nakigawa threw the middle game, went 4 innings, giving up 3 hits, 2 runs, 1 of them was earned. A slider to Jay, it's outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. Pippins trying to force the Berries into the bullpen early on this Father's Day. That would be a welcome sight. 1-1. Jay serves it into center field fairly deep, drifting back Weidman. He's a couple steps in front of the track, and he makes the catch. And that is out number 3 here in the first frame. The Pippins strike first. 2 runs on 2 hits, no errors, and 1 runner left on the base paths after a half inning of play. Yakima Valley 2, Berries coming up. We'll be back. This is Pippins Baseball here in Salem.
We got Jamie Brody on here wearing the skate champ baseball shirts on, so it's pretty amazing. I still don't have any idea where the point of this game is, but we'll find out in a second. Ready, set. All right, Red wins. I got it. All right, with no winner after 2. Now you got to go jump right before you hit. 1, 2, 3, go. Oh, look at these athletics. Too much athlete. One field. Going for 1 year. All right, that's the knockaround challenge. Not nearly as much carnage as I like. Thank you, Gabby. I'll burn it for you. We're gonna burn the thing. Said that I'm not sure we have one.
Welcome back to Chemeketa Community College ball field here in Salem, Oregon. It's Sam Burgess out on the hill for the Yakima Valley Pippins. 3 1/3 innings up in Edmonton last Sunday. 5 hits, 5 runs, 5 of them earned. 2 walks, 3 strikeouts. That means he's 0-1 on the season with a 13.50 ERA. Burgess trying to rebound and have a stellar start after a little bit of a rocky one up against the Riverhawks. He'll face Danny Weidman, Noah Scherer, and Martin Serrano first. Defense behind Burgess is Tyson Miller in left, Jay O'Neill in center field, Luis Garcia in right. Cole Hubka's at third base today, Derek Almeida at short, Daichi Furuhata at second, Nick Velasquez at first, and Jackson Upton doing the catching. And Jackson having a little bit of an issue with his catcher's gear, his chest plate. He had to readjust some of the straps on it. He's got the PitchCom device over on his right shoulder. Home plate umpire Derek Dunbar trying to help him out. Now Jackson's ready to go. Must have lost a buckle or something. But he's all squared away and well protected behind the dish. And here's Danny Weidman. Southpaw Sam Burgess from Cal Baptist up on the slab. First pitch is a fastball fouled off of Weidman to get ahead in the count 0-1. Danny Weidman, one of the top hitters for this Marion Berries squad. He's from West Lynn, Oregon. 0-1, served high and foul out of play on the right side to make it 0-2 very quickly. Weidman on the season for the Berries, batting .257. He's behind in the count here, 0-2. He struck out 24 times last year for the Berries. As here comes the 0-2. It's on the ground over towards Almeida, deep in the hole at short. The throw across the diamond is not in time. Danny Weidman beats it out with an infield single. That's tough because Almeida had a pretty good read on it. He was just deep in the hole. Noah Scherer digs in, right-hand batter's box. Scherer from right here in Salem, Oregon, attended Lynn Benton Community College. .256 batting average for the Berries as he drops a bunt down, but foul. 0-1. We saw that a lot yesterday. The Berries would get a man on to lead off the inning, and didn't matter who the next guy was, he was bunting to try to move the guy into second and potentially get a run home. Weidman's got speed. We'll see if the lefty can hold him on. It's a decent lead out there. Not going. The pitch pops inside, but it's a strike. Upton couldn't squeeze it quite cleanly. Derek Dunbar calling it a strike anyway. And so again, Burgess gets ahead 0-2. He was ahead 0-2 to Weidman when he hit a slow ground ball into the hole at short and got an infield single. We'll see what Sam can do here with a man over at first. Weidman with probably a 2.5-step lead, daring a pickoff from Burgess as this is stroked out into right center field. The 0-2 pitch is going to be caught by O'Neill out there in center. One away and not advancing Danny Weidman. Martin Serrano, the Buckeye from Ohio State, a native of Pocatello, Idaho, though. Spent a year at Oregon State as well. Weidman, another decent lead over at first. Burgess staring at him. There goes Danny. Breaking ball down and away, stops and returns back to first. He couldn't quite see if Upton had cleanly got the ball in his glove. It was a breaking ball that pulled Upton to the right-hand batter's box against this left-handed hitter. And so Weidman stays put at first. Probably a break there for Yakima Valley. He's probably going on this pitch after that blunder. No, he's not, and a foul ball goes straight over our heads and over towards the park. Outdoor broadcast position here at Chemeketa Community College. I got a ball last year. It didn't land in my lap, but it landed behind me. Burgess set at the belt. 1-1. There goes Weidman. Fastball back up the box, and it's past a diving Almeida and into center field. Moving from first to third, Danny Weidman. The Berries threatening to tie or take the lead with only one out on the second hit of the game. This one courtesy of Martin Serrano. Almeida was covering second base on the steal attempt. The ball was right to him, but it came in so hot that he was unable to get clean leather on it. So runners at the corners, one away. A double play gets you out of the frame. Here's Tyler Dunning. First pitch, changeup, strike one right at the top of the zone. Tyler Dunning, multi-purpose player. Can play infield, can play outfield. He can also pitch if he's needed to. Burgess sends home the 0-1. It's stroke foul out of play over on the right side. That one might have landed clear over in the new softball field that they put in. Softball also got new turf here at Chemeketa. So the Berries helping out the Chemeketa softballers with this upgrade to the baseball field as well. Dunning batting .200 for the Berries here in his 8th game. Burgess been ahead 0-2 quite a bit. He sends a fastball down and away to move the count to 1-2. Good to see Sam fill up the strike zone. You hope that he can be rewarded here with a ground ball right to either Daichi or Derek. You've got Weidman at third, Martin Serrano over at first. Burgess takes a look over at first. Here's a ground ball past Danny Weidman over there at third base in foul territory. He leapt out of the way to avoid getting hit. Not that him getting hit would have been the worst thing in the world, because he was still in foul territory. Count is 1-2. Burgess looking for his first strikeout of the day as well. Sam takes a while before coming set at the belt. Sends in the 1-2 pitch, very shallow out to right field. It's going to drop in fair territory in front of Garcia. Scoring easily is Weidman, moving first to third is Serrano. And we're going to have the same situation as the last time, but the Berries cut the lead down to 1. RBI single for Tyler Dunning. That thing was just sawed off the inner half for Dunning, and it died in fair territory. So here's Kyson Barney. Berries already with 3 hits in the contest. Barney playing second base today, one of 2 Barneys in the lineup. They hit back-to-back. Takes a home run hack on an inside fastball, but can't come up with it. 0-1. Tyson Barney and Cale Barney both in the lineup today for the Berries. I don't know which one's the older of the 2, but they're both from Nolensville, Tennessee. He strokes it out to left. Miller coming on. He'll make the catch. Tagging over at third will be Serrano. The throw going to come all the way to the plate, and he'll be safe as there's no tag applied. Sacrifice fly by Kyson Barney. And the game is tied at 2. Tyler Dunning did not advance up to second. So there's 2 away and a man at first. So here's Cale Barney. Didn't even get a chance to talk about Kyson. Cale Barney on the season batting .231. Lefty-lefty matchup. Runner takes off. Breaking ball called a strike. The throw is skipped perfectly. The tag applied by Almeida at second, and they got him. Caught stealing. Score at 2-6. Good throw by Upton, and that's how the inning will end. The Berries get 2 runs on 3 hits. There were no errors and no runners left on base. After an inning of play, we're tied at 2 here in Chemeketa. Come back to Salem next. Pippins and Berries. Game 3, Game 6 of the year. Sure. Welcome back to Chemeketa Community College. Game 6 of the year between the Yakima Valley Pippins and the Marion Berries. Yakima Valley took the series up in Yakima 2-1. They won on Friday and they won on Sunday. Here on this Father's Day Sunday, the series is tied at 1-1 yet again. The Berries trying to defend home turf as they are now 6-5 here at Chemeketa. Colton Amai Nakagawa back out there. Second inning of work. He threw 20 pitches in the first frame, giving up 2 runs to the Pippins hitters. 7, 8, and 9 lead it off here in the second frame. Derek Almeida, Jackson Upton, and Cole Hupka. Almeida back in the lineup tonight, playing shortstop. First pitch, a breaking ball diving inside to move the count to 1-0. Almeida from Rancho Cucamonga, California. Batting .282 on the season, 11 hits Has time going to be called? Amai Nakagawa did not wait for Almeida to make contact before coming set, so he's going to be warned not to do that again. One of those new rules in college baseball the last couple of years. 1-0 out of the stretch. Almeida skies it a mile high on the right side, drifting over into foul territory. Barney over there makes a basket catch, standing on the warning track. So Almeida pops out in foul territory to Barney, the first baseman. And now here's Jackson Upton. Upton, the catcher today. Back-to-back days catching for Upton as Parker Burt not quite back to full health. He's been able to hit, but they don't want to put him behind the dish yet as he bounces one right back up the box, and sliding over there is Kyson Barney. He will not have a throw, though, stopping it right behind the second base bag. Jackson Upton gets his first hit as a Yakima Valley Pippin with one out here in the second inning. Infield single for the Pips catcher. Here's the number 9 hitter, Cole Hubka, the third baseman today, before the Pippins send it back up to the top of the order. Hubka from Wilsonville, Oregon, been spending time with his family this weekend. First pitch, a breaker inside 1-0. I know he's been hanging out with his dad and his mom at least, going out to dinner in between games. 1-0, breaking ball, top of the zone, up into the top of the netting. It's 1-1. Hubka spent a couple of games in the West Coast League back in 2024 with the Bend Elks, but did not contribute much. Was at Linfield College this last year. 1-1. Wave and a foul tip right into the mitt. It's 1-2. With Linfield, he batted .290 with one home run. Here with the Pippins right now, he's batting .389. Most of those hits coming from the number 9 spot. He's been a great secondary leadoff man. The 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Hubka also had time at Texas A&M Corpus Christi. Pippins had a connection to Corpus Christi last year, and Pearson Pollard, one of the relief pitchers, was West Coast League honorable mention as Hubka slices one right on a line. It's going to be dropped over there at second by Kyson Barney. He flips to second for one. He let it drop to try to get the double play. Upton had to stop, and then Barney bobbled the transfer, but with the catcher running, had plenty of time to get Upton out there at second. So it's a 4-6 put out, and there's 2 away, but it's a fielder's choice that allows Cole Hubka to reach and send us back to the top of the batting order with Tyson Miller. Miller walked back in the first inning, but was the lead out on a fielder's choice by Daichi Furuhata. Hubka running. Amai Nakagawa not going to pick off. He throws a breaking ball downstairs, and Cole Hubka has the base stolen out at second. Chance for the Pippins to take the lead after surrendering 2 runs in the first. We're tied at 2 here in the second. Tyson looking for a base hit anywhere. 1-0, breaking ball at the knees this time. Amai Nakagawa able to keep it up. So it's 1-1. Good to see the Pippins able to run a little bit against this lefty arm. You hope that Burgess has great success holding runners when he's on the hill. 1-1, breaking ball skips in, nearly got away from Nolan Rowe behind the dish. Hubka will stay put at second. 2 balls and a strike. Tyson Miller's got a nearly 30% walk percentage. He drew 1 earlier on in this game. 2-1. Another breaking ball to Tyson. This one down below the knees again. Miller trying to coax a second walk here in his second plate appearance. We're only in the second inning. Hubka stands out there at second after a stolen base. 3-1 pitch from Amai Nakagawa. A fastball out towards second. Barney able to field it cleanly, sends it on to his brother, And the inning is over. The Pippins get no runs on one hit, no errors, and leave one man on the base paths. Inning and a half in the books. 2-2 is the tie. We'll be right back. The Berries on offense here in Salem.
Pick up for 5. For Friday in the parking lot. Sure to check out Berries Barbecue on their closet. They for a variety of slow, tender. They've been a reminder, please be aware that all ports may be in the lake area at any time. To recover from the time.
Well, Tyler Dunning was caught stealing to end the first inning, so Cale Barney will get a fresh count in the left-hand batter's box. It's Barney, Carlson, and Rowe due up here in the second. Sam Burgess went through that first inning, giving up 2 runs on 3 hits. So we'll see if he can settle into this contest with a inning of work under his belt. 286 batting average for Cale Barney. Lefty-lefty matchup. He sends the first pitch foul over towards the Pippins dugout on the third base side. Hopefully we won't have to be under the lights tonight. We should be done before this game gets too far into the evening. Pippins going to make the about 4.5-hour trip home and have an off day as this is bounced right back to the mound. Burgess takes it a couple steps, flips on to first. Look what I found. Sam Burgess one away here in the second. Taryn Carlson will dig in. The off day tomorrow going to come at the right time. The Pippins, hopefully, if they can find a win here, will be in second place in the West Coast League South Division with 6 games to play in the first half. Ridgefield has all but locked up the first half title. Big swing and a miss by Taryn Carlson on a fastball downstairs. But the Pippins going to have to rest up because the Wenatchee Apple Sox are in town Tuesday through Thursday. They're the #1 team in the WCL North. 0-1, looping breaking ball, stays up above the letters of Taryn Carlson. 1 ball and 1 strike. Carlson from Kennewick, Washington. Not too terribly far away, just a drive across I-5 and then I-84. As here's a wave and a miss on a breaking ball. Carlson falls behind 1-2. On the season, batting .273 for the Berries, playing in his 12th game. Carlson with the bat laying flat on his shoulder. Burgess out of the full windup. Sends home the 1-2. It's sent straight back into the netting. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Does not strike out much. Makes contact around 60% of the time. Burgess drops in a breaking ball on the outer half. 1-2 sits him down. First strikeout for Sam Burgess. Carlson didn't quite know what to look for on that at-bat. So here's Nolan Rowe, the catcher, the former Yakima Valley Pippin. He's played in all 3 games against his former club here down in Salem. Was not with the team when the Berries visited Yakima County Stadium earlier this month. Rowe coming off of a year at Washington where he redshirted. First pitch, stays upstairs with a fastball. 1-0. But for Nolan Rowe, who spent quite a bit of time with the Pippins at the end of the year last year, already making an impact with the Berries. Fastball right at the top this time, 1-1. Rowe batting .273. This is his 5th game. So 3 of them now against his former team. 1-1, breaking ball downstairs, 2 balls and a strike. Rowe played third base on Friday night. He was a late addition to the lineup. And now catching on back-to-back days as he tries to win a little bit of playing time for the Huskies. 2-1, down and in with a fastball. 3 balls and a strike. Burgess has not issued a walk yet. That's been an issue for Pippins pitching this weekend and really the last week and a half. It's been free passes. 3-1. Here's the first free pass of the day. It's a fastball downstairs. Nolan Rowe draws the walk. Number 9 hitter in the order, Damari Hall. Hall has not yet played in this series. Damari with his hands clear out in front of him in the right-hand batter's box. First pitch taking a strike right at the knees. Hall's an interesting one because I can't find any stats on him right now. He's behind in the count 0-1, and he waves through an inside fastball 0-2. Looking at the roster for the Berries, Damari Hall's from Las Vegas, Nevada. Now time going to be called. It's going to be called by the batter. And so he's going to be charged with an offensive timeout here. Tucker Brock, hands up in the coaching box. I think Coach Crustangel trying to relay what's happening here onto the lesser experienced coach in the West Coast League. This is his second season. Yeah, this is Damari Hall's first game with the Berries. So the Las Vegas native just cost his squad an offensive timeout. 0-2 pitch, a fastball blown right by him for strike number 3. Damari Hall with a little bit of an awkward at-bat in his Berries debut as the Berries get no runs on no hits, no errors, and 1 man left on the base pads. 2 innings in the books here on Father's Day. 2-2 the score. Pippins up to bat in the top of the 3rd next. This is Pippins Baseball.
One, two, three, four, five. Oh, hold on a minute. All right. Looks like Strawberry, the winner of winning records. When it comes to various trustful experts who've been really delicious, having finished fruit, lovers to the lake of sun and freeze. I love you. Well, Alex Kelly, the Beth Marlands, to your fingers. It's the boy.
Lovely weather for a Father's Day ball game here at Chemeketa Community College. I'm Harmon Johnsen, your voice of the Yakima Valley Pippins. Thanks for joining us, whether you're hanging out with Dad or you're thinking of him at least. Hopefully everybody's got that father figure in their life that they're able to look up to and get advice from. I know my dad in particular has been one of the biggest factors in some of the decisions I've made in my professional career. Not because we share a career path, but just because I need somebody to run all my crazy ideas by, and he's always willing to listen. My family, my rock in this broadcasting journey. First pitch, a strike here from Colton Amai Nakigawa to Daichi Furuhata. 0-1 with a breaking ball. Hopefully everybody's got that person that you can always call and always talk to. Both of my parents are awesome at that. Daichi sends one a mile high on the middle of the infield. The 2 middle infielders coming in. Kyson Barney says he has it, drifting back towards the second base bag, losing the lid and showing off the beach blonde hair. Down is Daichi on the pop-up to second. That'll bring up Nick Velasquez, who got a double back in the first inning, his 3rd double of the series. Oh, that's a good one. My sister just texted me. For those of you that don't know my last name, and I've said it many times, but if you haven't put it together, my dad is named Dwayne Johnson. And unfortunately, it's not Dwayne Johnson, like The Rock, as Nick pulls one foul over on the right side, 0-1. But yes, he is my rock. Good pull, Vivian. I'll owe her one when I get back to Nebraska. Good work. Way to think. No balls and a strike. Yeah, when I say my dad's name is Dwayne Johnson to some people, they kind of look at me funny and like, what do you mean? Nick rips one past Panch over at first. It's 0-2. Velasquez has just been in front of a couple of pitches. Nobody went down to go grab the pearl yet. Now here comes a member of the Berries staff. Nobody was down in the bullpen, but the ball resting up against the fence, not going to interfere with the play. And now Derek Dunbar says it's a timer violation on Colton Amai Nakagawa. And so the count is going to be 1-2. He'd already been warned about coming set before the batter makes eye contact. So it's 1 ball and 2 strikes without another pitch thrown. But a fastball right down the middle of the zone for strike 3 sets down Velasquez without any sort of confusion. 2 away, here's Parker Burt. Parker Burt struck out back in his first at-bat in the first inning. He was looking fastball and got breaking ball and couldn't adjust in time. Parker still hitting a scorching north of 450 batting average as he hits it slowly on the ground to short. Dunning up with it to throw across the diamond in time, and the Pippins are down in order in the third frame. No runs, no hits, no errors, none left on. We go to the bottom of the third inning here in Salem. 2-2 the score. Berries up to bat next.
I'm interesting at all. Debbie and this could be you next year. You might see the tickets. License and ticket. Hey, Berries fans, it's full average play by play. Can't take it to the end. Watch our live stream like YouTube and Berries baseball. And nothing for stalls.
Sam Burgess out to work his third inning. He will be facing the top of the Marion Berries order, Danny Weidman, Noah Scherer, and Martin Serrano. Tied at 2 here on this Father's Day as it starts to wind down in parts of America. We're here on the Pacific Coast. It's only about 6 o'clock. So we still got about 6 hours to celebrate Dad before we get back to the work week on Monday. Of course, the Pippins will not be working at all tomorrow. Off day as scheduled in. That won't be true after the first half closes. Sam Burgess's first pitch fastball sent foul out of play on the right by Danny Weidman, who is 1-for-1 today with an infield single. They'll get the off day tomorrow. The Pippins will play 6 straight league games against Wenatchee and Kelowna. 0-1. High and away, 1 ball and 1 strike. And then, immediately after the Sunday game against Kelowna, the Pippins will host the Dub C Fish Sticks on a Monday for a non-league contest. It'll be 4 straight non-leagues for the Pips. Here's a breaking ball served down the right field line out of play, 1-2. Dub C on Monday, the 29th. Then the Northwest Star Nighthawks on June 30th and July 1st. And then the Portland Gherkins will be in town on July 2nd before the Pippins hit the road to start their second half of play. Hard to believe we're already talking about the second half. 1-2. Fastball just missed down and in. Upton held it there for an extra second. The count moves to 2 balls and 2 strikes. But yeah, this is game 21 of the 27-game first half. 54 league games in total. 2-2. Fastball, handcuffed him inside. Tag applied by Upton. And Danny Weidman's out number 1 here in the third. 3 strikeouts now for Sam Burgess as he starts to really settle in. Noah Scherer flew out to center field back in the first frame, and he'll bat now with 1 away. 2-2 the tie. Going to be a long homestand for Yakima Valley. Going to enjoy being at home, but of course those off days are so precious in this long but short sprint of a season as a first pitch breaking ball at the knee is called strike 1. If you think about it, we started on May 29th. We're going to be done, if you make it all the way to the championship game, by the first full week of August. And the second full week is the championship game. Bunt drop down on the third base line. Burgess going to field it bare hand, throw across the diamond. Nick scoops it, but it pops out of the glove. Was going to be a close play either way. Likely the 4th hit on the day for the Berries. Sam made a heck of a play. Noah Scherer aboard for the first time. Oh, they give it an error. Ouchie. Likely an error on Nick over at first for not picking the ball, but that was a bang play. So now here's Martin Serrano, who takes a first pitch upstairs on a changeup, 1-0. So a tough error. No, they give it a throwing error, so E1. I don't completely agree with that, as Burgess came all the way down to the third base line. Half swing, he went around on a breaking ball, 1-1. Nick came all the way down to the foul line, barehanded the ball, and threw a low line drive right to Nick that then Velasquez had pop in and out of his glove. 1-1. Fastball dropped by Upton. It was downstairs, 2-1. Man, tough error for Burgess out there on the hill. Behind in the count here, 2-1 to Serrano. Breaking ball on the ground out towards Daichi. He's going to flip it to second for 1. Almeida gets ran into, and the ball gets away. Serrano content with first base, so he will not turn and head to second. Fielder's choice. Grounded into by Martin Serrano. There's 2 away. Good play by Furuhata. His first chance at second base in a while. Looked like Almeida was collided into out there at shortstop, but umpires rule no interference. Tyler Dunning got an RBI single back in the first frame. He was then caught stealing to end the first. First pitch, just a touch down and in from Burgess. A fastball to Tyler Dunning. 2-2 is the score. 3-3 are the hits. The Pippins charged with a tough error on Burgess that I still don't entirely agree with. 1-0 on the ground over to Hubka. He's going to go the short way to second. Daichi covering the bag. And Martin Serrano becomes the third out of the frame on the 5-4 putout. The Berries get no runs on no hits, 1 error by Yakima Valley, and they leave 1 on the base pads. 3 innings in the books. We go to the 4th, tied at 2 here at Chemeketa Community College. This is Pippins Baseball. Top of the fourth inning here at Chemeketa Community College. I'm Harmon Johnsen, your voice of the Yakima Valley Pippins. Marion, Berries, and Pippins. Game 6 of the year, Game 3 of the series. Yakima Valley and the Berries tied at 2. Luis Garcia, Jay O'Neill, Derek Almeida, 5, 6, and 7 in the Yakima Valley order due up against Colton Amai Nakagawa, who's made it through 3 frames, giving up the 2 runs on 3 hits. Pippins wearing their road blue uniforms with white numerals and a white Pippins in block on the chest, gray pants, and blue lids in the field. The Berry is wearing white uniforms today with red accents versus purple, honoring a different type of berry, likely the raspberry. First pitch to Garcia, high and away, ball 1. Amai Nakagawa throwing his 41st pitch there. He's got 2 strikeouts and 1 walk on the day. Garcia singled and drove home the 2 runs for the Pippins back in the first inning as he takes a fastball outside to make the count 2-0. I kind of like the branding for the Berries. I love the Pippins branding, obviously, but the Berries have a very unique sense of branding down here. 2-0, a fastball. Scratch that. That was definitely a breaking ball that I saw. It was sent straight back into the netting, 2-1. They've got 2 mascots, Barry the Bear and then Dingle the Berry. If you look up the Marion Berries, there's a berry logo as Garcia takes in tight 3-1 the count. They basically took that berry and put it on a mascot. He's the head and then the body the rest of the way. 3 balls and a strike. Garcia well ahead in the count. Breaking ball drops in. Luis gritting his teeth at that one. He left the bat on the shoulders. Now the count runs full. Again, Nakagawa only with 1 walk so far this late afternoon. The payoff pitch, that's downstairs. How about walk number 2? Luis Garcia will be aboard at first. Jay O'Neill flew out to center field to end the first inning. Jay yesterday was 0 for 3, but he drew a walk and stole a bag. These 2 teams playing for only the 12th time in Berries franchise history. Luis takes off. The pitch is a strike. The throw down is late from Nolan Rowe. Amai Nakagawa has a very delayed move to the plate. And so even though he's a lefty, he kind of leans back on his left leg, and that allows a lot of time for the runners to get a good jump before he's able to pick off. 1 ball, or no balls and 1 strike. O'Neill behind in the count, but a man in scoring position. Jay serves it into center field. This is tailing away from Weidman. It's going to get down and go all the way to the wall. Luis Garcia had to hold up, but he'll round third easily and score. Jay O'Neill with an RBI double gives the Pippins the lead 3-2 here in the 4th. Opposite field power for Jay as it 1-hopped into the fencing. That'll bring up Derek Almeida. Still nobody out and a run across the board for the Pippins. Almeida popped out in foul territory back in the second inning. Would love to see him at least advance Jay on to third. Amai Nakagawa delivers. Derek takes the first pitch inside with a breaking ball. It's 1-0. The Berries have a man down in their bullpen if Amai Nakagawa continues to run into trouble here. 1-0. Derek takes in tight on the hands. 2 balls and no strikes. Cannot see the number from down here. It's far enough away even with the binoculars. He's mainly going through his stretching right now, not throwing yet. Jay takes off. 2-0 pitches downstairs. The throw from Rowe is way late. Jay ends up sitting on the bag. He's safe. And now 90 feet away is Jay O'Neill with an insurance run for the Pippins. Nobody out and a 3-0 count. Does Derek Almeida dare drop down a bunt? Infield going to play on the cut of the grass for the Berries. 3-0 is nowhere close. High and away, ball 4. Third walk issued by Amai Nakagawa, and the Pippins are going to have runners at the corners. And Coach Crustangel is going to call an offensive timeout. Yakima Valley loves to do this with 2 on, nobody out in this type of situation. Take an offensive timeout, go over the situation, and it usually ends up plating a couple of runs. With runners at the corners and nobody out, you might see Derek Almeida running from first to second, just based on the history that the Pippins have shown. Coach Crusty loves to put the runner in motion over at first. With Jackson Upton the catcher, you possibly could see a bunt laid down as well and really try to make a mess of things. You've got Hubka waiting after him. Middle infield plays back for a double play. In line with the bag is Taryn Carlson. Holding on the runner at first is Kyson Barney. Upton squares to bunt. They're going to throw over to first. Back in plenty of time, Derek Almeida. So the Pippins are looking to try to bunt home the run. If Upton can get it in fair territory, likely would be the case. Here's the square. The first pitch is a breaking ball taken upstairs for ball 1. If you're a pitcher in this situation, now you know the Pippins are trying to bunt with runners at the corners. You may as well fill up the strike zone. Upton got his first hit as a Pippin back in the second inning, but has not shown any power to this point. 1-0 breaking ball taken outside, 2-0. This is what you want to avoid as a pitcher, is falling behind in the count in an obvious bunting situation. Makes your life as the hurler that much harder. Pippins have had their fair share on the hill of this type of situation. Almeida staying put for now. There's the square. The bunt dropped down up the first base line. There's going to be one play. It's to first. A successful sacrifice by Jackson Upton plates a run. It's 4-2 Yakima Valley. Derek Almeida moves up to second. Great work by Jackson Upton. Pippins dugout showing their appreciation for Upton. Now here's Cole Hubka, who essentially works as a second leadoff man. He drives one down the right field line. Stay fair ball. It won't. It bounces into the Berries bullpen. 0-1 the count. So give Upton a sacrifice bunt and score it 2-3 with an RBI up the first base line. Jay O'Neill scores. Derek Almeida is out at second base. Not out as in Pippins get an out. High and away. Count now 1-1. Pippins with 4 runs on 4 hits. The Berries with 2 runs on 3 hits right now. Only 1 out. You've got this number 9 hitter Hubka, and then the top of the order. Mai Nakagawa winds and fires. That is downstairs, 2-1. Great work playing small ball for the Pippins. They've been small balled against so far in this series quite a bit. Two one. Skips across the carpet at the dish. 3 balls and a strike. A walk puts runners at first and second with only 1 out. Tyson Miller waiting on deck. Tyson's a guy that could bunt for a single. Nakagawa set at the letters, takes a look back to second base. Here comes his 3-1 pitch. It is inside with a breaking ball, ball 4. Cole Hubka walks. That's the 3rd walk of the inning for Amai Nakagawa. 4th walk overall, and that's going to force a meeting on the mound here in Salem. Luis Garcia led off this inning with a walk. And then Jay O'Neill doubled. Derek Almeida walked. Jackson Upton executed a perfect sacrifice bunt. Brought home O'Neill. And then Cole Hubka with a walk here. 1 out, and the top part of the Yakima Valley Pippins order in the batter's box in the form of Tyson Miller. You'd love to see, after a couple of close games the last 2 days, the Pippins just explode here and make things extremely hard for the Berries. Sam Burgess getting a couple of extra minutes to rest down in the dugout as well. So here we go. The meeting over on the mound. Tyson Miller 0 for 1 with a walk and a ground out. Action starts to ramp up down in the Marion Berries bullpen. Almeida shuffles off a second, not going. The first pitch is pulled down and away. 1 ball, no strikes to Tyson. Colton Amai Nakagawa came into this inning with 2 strikeouts and 1 walk. He still has 2 strikeouts, but he's now issued 4 walks. 1-0. Tyson takes a pitch above the letters. 2 balls and no strikes. The other thing you could do if you have a big inning here is take this very favorable crowd out of it. 3-0 as the breaking ball dances away from Amai Nakagawa, and this is going to give their pitching coach gray hairs down in the Berries dugout. You take a visit, and your pitcher goes 3 straight balls to start off the leadoff hitter. Miller looking to coax his second walk of the day. He will do so on a 4-pitch walk after a mound visit. The Berries have put 3 Pippins on the base pads to load it up. And Tucker Brack is going to come out of his dugout and say that's enough of Colton Amai Nakagawa. Short start today by Amai Nakagawa. He gets into the 4th inning, only records 1 out. We'll get you information on the new Berries pitcher when we come back. Pippins lead at 4-2, but they've got the bags loaded and are threatening here in the top of the 4th. This is Pippins Baseball here in Salem, Oregon. The new arm into the game for the Marion Berries is number 16, Lucas Plinert, making his 9th appearance on the season. 2 wins, no losses, 1 save. 13 innings for Plinert with a 3.46 ERA. He struck out 13. Looking back on his game log, Plinert has pitched a ton, including on Friday night against the Pippins, going 2 innings, giving up 1 hit and 1 run, striking out 1 as well. Longest outing of the season is set at 2 innings. He's done that a total of 4 times. The bags are loaded for Yakima Valley. Daichi Furuhata will hit to face Plinert as Colton Amai Nakagawa walks 4 in the 4th inning and allows a couple of runs to this point. All 3 men on base are his responsibility. He could be tasked with as many as 7 tonight. Daichi takes a first pitch strike on the outer black from Plenert. 0-1. Derek Almeida's the man at third. Cole Hubka is at second base, and Tyson Miller over at first after his second walk of the day. Plenert set at the chest. The 0-1 pitch pops out of the glove of Rowe. It was inside for ball 1. Count even. Berries defense playing Daichi straight up, except for Cale Barney, who's pinched in on the corner at first base. 1-1. Daichi rips it through the 5-6 hole. This is into left field for a hit. Everybody moves up one station. Derek Almeida scores. It's an RBI single for Daichi Furuhata. And the Pippins lead it 5-2 here in Salem. That ball was stung through the 5-6 hole. Almeida scores, moving up to third, Cole Hubka, moving up to second, Tyson Miller. So now Amai Nakagawa credited with 5 runs on the board. 2 more waiting out there in scoring position. Nick Velasquez takes a breaking ball inside. 1 ball, no strikes. Nick doubled back in the first, struck out looking in the third. Plenert did give up 1 run of his own in his relief outing on Friday. Nick in front of a breaking ball. It's a 1-1. Before he even finished his backswing, he asked home plate umpire Derek Dunbar if that was a strike, and the home plate umpire nodded, saying, yes, you were just in front of it. 3 runs already on the board, 3 more waiting out on the base paths for Yakima Valley. 1 out here in the inning. The 1-1 pitch stuck with a fastball on the outer black, 1-2. So Plenert been used in a variety of situations, does have the 1 save. The Berries trying to stop the bleeding here. Pippins trying to crack this one wide open. 1-2, a slider down and away, 2 balls and 2 strikes. You've got Parker Burt waiting on deck, so barring a double play, Parker will hit with the bases loaded. We know what his clutch factor was last night with the 2-run home run in the 8th. 2-2 pitch. Nick swings through a slider. He is down on strikes for the second time today. So Parker Burt raises his hands towards the sky and now strolls up to the right-hand batter's box. Big at-bat here for the native of Mansfield, Texas. 4 home runs on the season for Parker Burt. He's got 3 runners out there who would love to come home. Pippins have scored 3 already here in the 4th. Parker with a home run hack on a slider down at the knees. Couldn't come up with it. It's 0-1. Parker takes a stroll around the batter's box and digs back in. Again, Cole Hubka at third base, Tyson Miller at second base, Daichi Furuhata with an RBI single stands at first. Plenert brings home his 0-1 pitch. It's a dot on the bottom corner. And so the count runs to 0-2. Parker going to have to shorten up and protect. Slight breeze blowing from left to right. The wind has shifted directions from earlier this weekend. 0-2 to Parker. Wave and a miss. The tag applied. Plenert raises his arms and says, look at me. I just got out of a bases loaded jam, only allowing 1 run. So the Pippins get 3 in the frame on only 2 hits. There were no errors and 3 left on the base pads. It's 5-2 here in Salem. Pippins lead it by 3 here at Chemeketa.
Extraordinary. When it comes to your or
It'll be 5, 6, and 7 to up for the Marion Berries here in the fourth inning. Happy Father's Day, everybody. I'm Harmon Johnsen, your voice of the Yakima Valley Pippins. An hour into this contest, we started at 5:15. It's now 6:20 here in Salem, Oregon. Getting close to the usual start time during a West Coast League game. 6:35 p.m. is what you'll see during most of the midweek games, and then Friday and Saturday, of course, unless there's a fireworks show or something special. So the Pippins and the Berries, 3.5 innings in after about an hour of play. Sam Burgess responds to the long wait by getting a ground ball out to Daichi on the first pitch. Kyson Barney is grounded out to the second baseman Furuhata. Good start to the fourth inning for Sam. Just keep throwing strikes if you're Burgess. 45 pitches for him. He's got a 3-run cushion right now. The offense will have Garcia, who led off the fourth, due up in the fifth. First pitch breaking ball just above the letters. 1 ball and no strikes from Sam. This is Cale Barney and then Taryn Carlson. So that's twice that Kyson Barney's come up and haven't even had a chance to say who he is, other than the fact that he and Cale are related. 2-0 now after Burgess misses outside. Both natives of Nolensville, Texas. Wave and a miss on a fastball. Cale Barney gets into the count 2-1. Burgess went 3 1/3 up in Edmonton last Sunday, trying to get through 4 here. 2-1, another fastball right down Main Street. 2-2. Burgess with 3 strikeouts tonight, looking for a fourth. 2-2 out of the full windup. A breaking ball poked off the end of the bat on the left side over towards the kid zone and well out of play foul. Sam approaching his 50th pitch of the contest. Here comes the 2-2. Fastball chopped very slowly out towards first. Nobody's covering the bag. Nick goes over. Burgess steps on it, but the throw is late. A little bit of confusion by the Pips infield. That'll be a single for Cale Barney. So a man aboard with 1 out. Burgess kind of wanted to take it himself. And now Derek Dunbar is going to talk to Perry Schofield to see if that was a foul ball in the box. They say no. It did come off kind of awkwardly. But that was just a jam job on the inside part to Cale Barney. Taryn Carlson struck out looking back in the second inning. Burgess back to work out of the stretch. First pitch ripped. It's a backhand over at third by Hubka. He goes to second for 1. Daichi relays to first. And what a double play started by Cole Hubka. Hubka playing the hot corner for the first time this season made that look as smooth as silk. We go to the top of the 5th inning. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, none left on for the Berries. Cole Hubka take a bow. 5th inning's next here in Salem.
By the time I arbitrarily decide which area is witness. We're praying first. All right. Ready? Set. Blindfold. Trying to get for the highest. The high. So I like it. Straight. Okay. You're gonna keep on going. Keep on going. Keep on going. All right, all right. And yeah, close your eyes and walk away. That's our very stack game Father's Day edition. Give it up for our competitors.
5th inning here at Chemeketa Community College, and what a double play started by Cole Hubka over at third. Got a 1 hop on this nice turf field. that he backhanded with ease, sent on to Daichi at second for one, and then turned it on to Velasquez to get Taryn Carlson by a step. So now we go to the fifth inning. Pippins lead it 5-2. That's the 20th double play turned by Yakima Valley's defense this summer. First pitch from Plenard is yanked glove side into the left-hand batter's box for ball one to Luis Garcia. Plenard kind of showboated his way off the mound after stranding the bases. He did allow one of Amai Nakagawa's runs to come home. Misses badly with his first pitch since the break, then gets right back into it with an inside heater to Luis Garcia. Luis drew a walk to start that fourth inning. The Pippins sent all 9 to the plate. He, O'Neill, Almeida would all score. Another fastball right on the inside part of the plate. It's 1-2. Luis does crowd the plate ever so slightly, not near as much as like a Daichi Furuhata, but he does back out away from most of the inside stuff as he ranks one foul right into the left field fencing. Ranks. Suppose that's a combination of rakes and yanks. Coming up with new words on the spot here in Salem. Another 1-2 to Luis. Fastball blown right by him. 3 straight strikeouts for Plenert, dating back to the fourth inning. He takes a strut around the back of the mound, and here's Jay O'Neill. O'Neill doubled back in the fourth inning. That drove home Luis. He also flew out to start his day, went out to center field in the first inning. Jay takes a slider inside, 1 ball and no strikes. Pippins lead it 5-2. They've got 5 hits. 1-0. Pitch high and away, 2 balls and no strikes. Good to see Jay make solid contact to the opposite field in his last at-bat. We know he's got pull side power, but if he can start spraying balls on the left side of the outfield, he might have a shot at what I know his goal is to play pro. 2-0 pitch misses outside, 3-0. He's got 1 more year of college eligibility. Currently in the portal looking for a new home. And hopefully find himself in the pro ranks. 3-0 taking all the way. It's a strike right at the top of the zone. So Jay will gather up his bat. 3-1. Plenert comes set at the belt. Jay will have to fight off a 3-1 pitch here. It's outside, ball 4. Jay with a quick word to Derek Dunbar after he thought the last pitch was up. So here's a walk to O'Neill. And Derek Almeida, who walked back in the fourth inning, will have a chance to hit here with O'Neill on base again. Folks here at Chemeketa hoping for some discounted alcohol products. Almeida with the walk in the fourth inning made them disappointed. First pitch, it's a ground ball out to short. Dunning has a high hop out to second. The relay on to first is not in time. So Jay O'Neill out 6-4. But Derek Almeida keeps the inning alive, reaching on a fielder's choice. And now here comes Jackson Upton, the catcher. Upton, 1 for 1 today. A single back in the second. That was his first hit as a Pippin. And then a sacrifice bunt that drove home Jay O'Neill. Berries unable to turn their 23rd double play. First pitch to Upton, dives down and away, ball 1. Love to see Upton get on base again for Cole Hubka to hit. Cole's been on both times. "1-0, right back where it came from, out towards second. Barney stops. The ball is dropped out at second. Almeida nearly reached down and grabbed the baseball. It was just his natural instinct. And so reaching first is Jackson Upton, as Kyson Barney unable to successfully transfer it on to Dunning. We'll see how that is scored. Likely, we're going to see some sort of fielder's choice. Cole Hubka walking a fielder's choice. He pounds one in the ground over at third. Falling down Carlson. He's going to step on the bag himself as he recovers. And so Derek Almeida eventually forced out on a 5U. Cole Hubka reaches on a fielder's choice. The Pippins do not score, but they had traffic everywhere. No runs on no hits, no errors, and 2 runners left on base. We're halfway home here in Salem. Pippins lead it 5-2. We'll be right back. This is Pippins Baseball.
We're playing the con. The similar document.com.
Welcome back to Chemeketa Community College ball field. I'm Harmon Johnsen, your voice of the Yakima Valley Pippins. Let's get a little bit of a whip around on the events here on Father's Day here in the West Coast League. We've got 3 games already final. Up in Ridgefield, Walla Walla falls to the Raptors. They get swept 6-4 the final score there. Ridgefield is now 16-5 on the season. Victoria gets a win in Port Angeles today on a 105 start, 15-5 the final score there against the Lefties. Bellingham, a close one against Kamloops. They're able to stave off the North Paws at home. 6-5 final score up in Bellingham. Bottom of the 7th inning in Springfield, the Portland Pickles currently lead the Drifters 7-2. They're in the bottom of the 7th. Bottom of the 5th in Bend, the Kelowna Falcons lead it 7-1 over the Bend Elks. That's a rubber game in that series. Bottom of the 5th over in Corvallis, the Edmonton Riverhawks lead it 6-0 on the Corvallis Knights. If you're a Pippins fan, you want Corvo to lose tonight, because then if the Pippins can hang on and win, they'd be tied for second in the West Coast League South with Walla Walla, a team that they have the tiebreaker over in the first half. Only one other score, Wenatchee and Nanaimo scoreless in the top of the 5th inning. Sam Burgess back to work. First pitch down and away to Nolan Rowe, 8-9-1 here in the Marion Berries order. Bottom of the 5th frame here on Father's Day. 6:35 p.m. here in Salem. This is when we'd normally start one of these weekend type games, as the next pitch is right there on the inner black, 1-1. Rowe so far today does not have an at bat. He drew a walk back in the 2nd inning. 1-1, foul tipped right into Upton's mid. It's 1-2. And so scores kind of falling the way you want if you're Yakima Valley right now. Edmonton up 6-0 in the bottom of the 5th. Walla Walla already losing. The only unfortunate thing is they lost to Ridgefield, who is at the top of your division. 1-2, that got Nolan Rowe on the back of the left knee, and he is down in a heap. That was not comfortable for the catcher. Burgess not trying to hit him, obviously. It was a 1-2 count. He was just trying to pitch inside. And so Rowe going to get his left knee on the backside checked out. He is hit by the pitch. He will be on at first if he can remain in the game. If not, they might run for him. But being the catcher, he'll likely try to stay in this game. That's just an unfortunate spot to get hit. It's a soft part of the leg, right there on the back of the knee. He turned away on a slow breaking ball. He'll walk down to first, accompanied by Kevin Moffitt, his first base coach. Tucker Brock feels good about leaving his catcher in. Nolan going to rub that one out a little bit over there at first. He's going to try to run down the line and stretch it out. Sam Burgess has already towed the slab. Competitor type mentality for Burgess as he awaits Damari Hall's second at bat in his Berries career. Hall struck out back in the second inning. That ended the frame. Very unlikely that Nolan Rowe will be stealing after that hit by pitch, no matter how aggressive Tucker Brack wants to be. First pitch from Burgess, a bunt dropped down, and it's double contacted. He was in the batter's box, though, and so it's a foul ball. Double contact on the bunt, but Hall had not yet left the box. If he had been out of the box, then he would have been out on interference. Instead, it falls down as strike one. In a sense, Hall catches a break. He almost ran himself into an out there. Big, tall, right-handed stick takes a fastball high and away, 1-1. So prove me wrong. They were bunting after Rowe was hit by the pitch, trying to send him in a little bit of motion. Count 1-1. Rowe with a medium-sized lead at first. Burgess brings it home, and it's cut right through by Damari Hall. Hall wearing 44. Again, making his debut today with the Berries. Immediately inserted into the lineup by Tucker Brack. 1-2 pitch. Outside. Rowe with a couple of extra steps on his secondary, but he stays put at first, 2-2. Don't know much about Hall, just joining the team. Native of Las Vegas, though. He's been gambling on the wrong pitches today as he pops one up on the infield right behind the mound. Burgess will make the catch. That was a half swing by Damari Hall that essentially, like you're playing Pepper, he just sent it straight back where it came from. So call it a P1, if you will. There's one away, and we go back to the top of the Berries order and Danny Weidman. Sam Burgess fielding his position very well today. He's got a ground out back to him and now a pop-up. Weidman 1 for 2 today, single and strikeout, and Burgess drops a breaking ball in the bucket. A throw down to first by Upton chases Rowe back. No balls and a strike. Rowe obviously feeling better after getting hit in the leg. He's got a very aggressive lead over there at first. Burgess 0-1 as a fastball down and away, 1 ball and 1 strike. Well, even though the Pippins' goal was to win the first half this season, and it looks like that might not happen because Ridgefield next week has the Bend Elks and the Springfield Drifters, the two worst teams in the South Division next week. 1-1, very slowly on the ground. Hubgo's going to have one play, scoops it off the turf. A tag applied by Nick, and safe is the call. Harry Schofield saying that Nick was off the bag. Nick threw a tag down. He's going to ask Perry Schofield to ask Derek Dunbar for help because Nick, it looked like, tagged the guy before crossing first base, Danny Weidman. Perry Schofield wasn't quite paying attention to where the ball was. He was just looking to see if Nick was on the bag or not. Big moment upcoming here, and the call is overturned to out. Good work getting together, the umpiring crew helping each other out. Now both Tucker Brack and Kevin Moffitt are going to argue with field umpire Perry Schofield. Nolan Rowe moves on to second. It's the second out of the inning. Nick very clearly threw the tag down before Danny Weidman crossed first base. Derek Dunbar holding his position behind home plate as Perry Schofield gets an earful from Tucker Brack. So it scored a 5-3 putout, although you could put a little asterisk on it, knowing that it was a tag play over there at first. So there's 2 away and a man in scoring position for Noah Scherer. Berries come out on the wrong end of that play. But again, I think Perry Schofield was just not looking in the right spot. He was looking at the bag and not at the ball. Well, umpiring crew got together and got the call correct. First pitch, a breaking ball outside, 1 ball, no strikes. And that's a tough spot for the umpire, standing in the B position. But immediately when he signaled that Velasquez was off the bag, you knew something was up. So Coach Crustangel going out there and making sure that the call was at least talked about. As here's a strike on the outer half, 1-1. Tell you what, these fans here at Chemeketa Community College have not been kind to our umpiring crew. And it's been the worst of it today versus the last 2 games. This is the same alignment we had on Friday night. 1-1. Pitch skips in on the turf carpet. See, we continue to make new words. Someone should start a dictionary of all the times I combine words together. Two balls and a strike. Burgess misses Hine away with a fastball to Noah Scherer, who is 0 for 2 today. He flew out back in the first inning. He reached on an error in the third inning, but then was a force out for the second out rather of the third inning. That was on Martin Serrano's fielder's choice. Serrano would then be a force out at second on Tyler Dunning's fielder's choice. 3-1 pitch, downstairs, ball 4. A little bit of an uncompetitive at bat there by Burgess as he issues what appears to be just his second free pass. No, third. A walk back in the second, a hit by pitch earlier this inning, and now a walk here to Noah Scherer will bring out Coach Ethan Salscheider, the pitching coach for the Pippins. Martin Serrano, who has been on base twice so far today, is the anticipated hitter. Quick visit by Salsa. The Pippins have a little bit of action up in their bullpen. Serrano singled back in the first inning. He would come around to score. He also reached on the fielder's choice, like I said, in the third inning. Sam Burgess trying to get through 5 innings after a shorter start up in Edmonton last Sunday. He's through 4 2/3, needs one more to qualify for what would be a win if the score holds. First pitch fastball upstairs, 1-0. Serrano going to Ohio State University. 1-0. Fastball downstairs, 2 balls and no strikes. You don't want to leave something too far over the plate for Serrano. He does have home run power. And with the wind actually helping him today out to right field, you do have to be careful, but you'd love to see Sam just be aggressive in the zone. A look back to second base. The 2-0 pitch is a breaking ball that sends Levi Correa tumbling backwards into the dugout. I don't know if that actually got him, but it went right past his ear over on the third base side. Well, if Levi wasn't awake, he is now. Pippin's dugout seems to be all right. The 2-1, a wave and a miss on a breaking ball, and the count moves to 2-2. Upton with an emphatic fist pump out towards his pitcher, trying to get one more strike here. 3 Ks for Burgess. He's got runners at first and second with 2 away here in the 5th. Sam peering in, shakes off. Now he comes set at the belly button. 2-2 pitch. Breaking ball, got him! Burgess with a scream out towards Upton. And a little bit of a stare down between Burgess and Serrano. 5 innings in the books here in Salem. Sam Burgess with a stellar start. Pippins lead at 5-2. We go to the 6th frame here in Salem.
job, everybody. You'll be
Top of the sixth frame here at Chemeketa Community College ball field. Lucas Plennert still out there for the Berries, trying to bridge the gap into the late innings. The Pippins have the top of their batting order up for the fourth time today, leading by a score of 5-2 here in Salem. Sam Burgess threw 5 innings, his night likely done, as he was getting up into the 70s in pitch count. But what an outing it was. 2 runs there in the first inning. He struck out 4. He walked 2, and he left a total of 4 berries on base. So despite a couple of guys reaching and 4 hits allowed, he's able to get through 5, and the Pippins still have the lead. Leonard's first pitch to Tyson Miller is a breaking ball that bends in over the outer part of the plate on the back foot side. 0-1. Leonard in relief of Colton Amai Nakagawa. Tyson squares to bunt. The pitch is well outside. Nolan Rowe still out there behind the dish after being hit with a pitch back in the previous frame. He had plenty of time to shake it off because he was left out on the base paths. 1-1, another backdoor slider catches the outer black to make the count 1-2. Tyson today 0 for 1, but he's drawn 2 walks. Been doing a great job getting on as the leadoff man. 1-2, down and away, 2-2. I wonder how long Plennert can go. His longest outing on the year is 2 innings. He's done that 4 times. One more out here would give him that 2 innings of relief. 2-2, Tyson swings through a slider on his back foot. He becomes the 4th strikeout victim of Lucas Plennert. Here comes Daichi. He is 1 for 3 today, but he scored a run back in the first after reaching on a fielder's choice. He also drove home a run in the 4th. First pitch hits Daichi. Tried to jump out of the way of that low and in fastball, but he will be aboard. Daichi aboard for the 3rd time today. Here comes Nick Velasquez. Daichi tossed his bat over on the third base or the first base side over by the Berries dugout. So Parker Burt will gather up the loose stick and return it back to its home territory over on the third base side. Velasquez with a hard double back in the first inning. He struck out twice since then. First pitch swinging. He sends it out towards the parking lot, and this will land past a pickup. We already had one set of window panes broken today. The front windshield of a gray car pretty close to the grandstand now has a nice giant dent in it after a foul ball way back in the first inning. 0-1 to Nick. Plennert misses outside with a slider. 1 ball and 1 strike. Here on your Father's Day, Pippins trying to win the series. Pippins trying to win the season series against the Marion Berries to 2 out of 3 up in Yakima. 5-2 the score here in the 6th inning as stepping off is Plennert. There are bodies down in the bullpen for the Berries, and there's a man throwing. Looks to be a left-hander. 1-1 to Nick. He drives it into very shallow right field. Hall coming on, and his tall frame dives for it and catches it. Helps when you're 6'4" out there, but a nice play either way by Hall, robbing Nick Velasquez of potentially extra bases. Daichi will stay put at first. Here comes Parker Burt. Burt 0 for 3. 2 strikeouts and a ground out. Not quite the same success he had last night as he saws one over towards the Berries dugout. 0-1. Parker He's very good at picking a pitch to hit. It's just that sometimes when he doesn't get it, he has nights like tonight. Leonard set. Daichi not going. The 0-1. Parker rips it through the 5-6 hole. This is through and into left field. Daichi stops at second. Parker Burt with his first hit of the night. It's a single. And there's 2 aboard with 2 out for Yakima Valley here in the 6th. Luis Garcia with an RBI single that drove home 2 in the first. He also walked and scored a run in the 4th. Would love to see Garcia find some green grass and let Daichi score. Took a home run style hack on a fastball over the heart of the plate and couldn't come up with it, so it's 0-1. Garcia with an open batting stance in that right-hand batter's box. Front foot, the left foot up on its toes. 0-1, chops slowly over towards third. Backing up is Dunning. The shortstop has it. It gets away from the first baseman, Barney. Daichi turns around third and scores. Parker Burt is into third, and the Pippins lead it 6-2. Good backup by Dunning, the shortstop, to keep the ball in the infield, then just rush the throw. So Daichi scores for the second time today. Parker moves up to third. And Luis Garcia is aboard for the third time today. First pitch to Jay O'Neill is a ball outside, 1-0. Throwing error by the shortstop gets Luis aboard. Runner takes off. Garcia will be into second standing up. It's a called strike to Jay O'Neill. With a man at third, Rowe just keeps the ball in his pocket. So it's an E6 that actually scores Daichi and advances Parker onto third. 1-1 drilled into center field. If it's going to get down in front of Weidman, 2 will score. Parker will come home easily as the ball does drop. Weidman hunched over out there in center field. Garcia scores. The Pippins lead it 8-2 on a 2 RBI single by Jay O'Neill. Pippins pouring it on here in the middle frames. And that'll force Tucker Brock out of his dugout to make a pitching change. Lucas Plinert ran out of gas. The error kept the inning alive. Jay O'Neill benefits, and we'll have a new Berries pitcher when we come back. Yakima Valley leads it now 8-2 after 3 runs here in the 6th. New arm when we get back to Chemeketa. This is Pippins Baseball. During the game, you're ready to change your. There's something I can do for twice. No. Put all my stuff on. High school wins the hot. So the room, the way speech is going to reach point navigating bridge to find some very nice out here. No wrench, or good. Lots of outlet situation, the house to get over here. Yeah, Welcome back to Chemeketa Community College ball field. It's the top of the sixth inning. The Pippins lead it 8-2, 3 runs so far in the inning. The new pitcher is Damian Cantano as Derek Almeida greets him by swinging on the first pitch and flying it over to Kyson Barney to retire the side. A pop four is 1 pitch and 1 out for the new arm, Damian Cantano. The Pippins score 3 runs. They get 2 hits. There was 1 error by the Berries, and there was 1 man left on base. To the bottom of the sixth we go. The Pippins lead it 8-2 here in Salem. Come right back.
Gilbert, Cleveland, Formation, 3 and 9 o'clock, gold knots. Big local baseball, building, family, all of what's not the play. Coming skilling. Here's number 8. Tyler.
New pitcher into the game for the Yakima Valley Pippins here in the bottom of the sixth inning after Sam Burgess goes 5. It's Torrin Eggy. Man from Whitman College the last couple of years has played in 3 games for the Pips, 3 1/3 innings pitched, 2 strikeouts, 5 walks, 1 hit, no earned runs. So a 0 ERA for Torrin. Likely going to be asked to get through an inning or 2 here. The Berries onto their third pitcher, the Pippins onto their second here. First pitch he throws is a wave and a miss by Tyler Dunning on an inside fastball, 0-1. Burgess goes 74 pitches. He is currently in line for the win, should the score hold. He went 5 innings, giving up 4 hits, 2 runs. They were both earned on 2 walks and 4 strikeouts. So Eggy fires in a 0-1 strike on a slider to make it 0-2. Torrin looked good in his last outing, going an inning. Pippins lead it 8-2 here in Salem on Father's Day. 0-2, served foul over on the right side. Maybe a father will end up with that ball. Good to see the Pippins offense humming along. 2 in the first, 3 in the fourth, 3 in the sixth. Hopefully more runs still to come. 0-2 from Torrin. Slider, just a touch off the plate. 1 ball, 2 strikes. With Whitman, the last couple of years, Eggy has played in 9 games, pitching in 6 2/3 innings. He has 10 strikeouts. Walk number has been elevated, though, for Torrin. So hopefully going to limit those tonight as he's ahead in the count here, 1-2. The pitch, just a touch above the letters. Torrin thought he had strike 3. Instead, the count goes to 2-2. Coach Crustangel making some friends here in Salem. He's outside the dugout right now. Some kid asked him to sign a ball. He said, I'll do it after. And shook hands with him. 2-2 pitch, down and away, ball 3. So after getting ahead 0-2, the count runs to full. Sun setting behind our back. Just past 7 o'clock here in Salem, Oregon. Eggy going to need to dig deep here after getting ahead. He's back into a full count. Payoff pitch on the ground over towards Hubka, backing up. He slides over there to make the grab. The throw across the diamond to Nick dies on its way over, but Nick able to stretch on the bag for out number 1. Hubka just kind of flicked it over there, and Nick was able to hold the bag. 1 up, 1 down for Eggy. Here's Kyson Barney. Let's actually tell you about the numbers for Kyson for once. He's been swinging on the first pitch a lot. Came into the game batting .222. This is his 11th contest for the Berries. 4 hits. And it says there's 5 doubles and 2 home runs. That number is obviously off. First pitch strike to Barney. Makes it 0-1. Hard to have 5 doubles and 2 home runs if you only have 4 hits. Batting .222, he's walked 3 times, struck out 4 times. He rips one onto the warning track on the left side. Sam Burgess coming back from his cool down. We'll let it go past him, and looks like Luke McGuire will pick up that loose ball. So again, Eggy gets ahead 0-2. Let's see if he can just finish it off right here. Comes set at the belly button, takes a deep breath. The 0-2 pitch. A breaking ball dropped in the bucket. Kyson Barney down looking. There's 2 away here in the 6th. Barney obviously was looking for something a little firmer. Now here's the brother, Cale Barney. 1 for 2, an infield single, and a ground out back to the pitcher, Burgess, back in the 2nd inning. First pitch, wave and a miss. A changeup got Cale Barney in front, 0-1. Barry the Bear mascot with his hat on backward, taunting the Pippins dugout just a little bit. Jackson Walker over there having a conversation with the Brown Bear. Wave and a miss, 0-2 the count. Barney swinging through on both pitches. Pippins trying to settle down the Marion order, 1, 2, and 3. Ground out, strikeout. Now Cale Barney behind 0-2. Watches a fastball high and away. I really enjoyed doing my prep for this series. Here in the late innings, we'll get into some of the reasons why. Torneggi, 1 ball and 2 strikes with 2 outs. Here comes the pitch home to Barney. Breaking ball inside, 2-2. These 2 teams, their cities at least, share a little bit of baseball history between the 2 of them. Yakima was the home of the Yakima Bears in the 90s, a Dodgers affiliate. Before that, they were here in Salem at this field. 2-2, skips away from Upton. The count runs full again. In the last 2 years of the 1980s decade, the Salem Dodgers called Chemeketa Community College home as the short season affiliate of the LA Dodgers. 3-2, Eggy sends it home. Downstairs, ball 4. So after getting well ahead of Barney, he lost him to a walk. Pippins lead at 8-2. Love to see Taryn Carlson get out in any form here. Don't want to give the Berries any sense of hope to come back. Eggy will head back into the stretch. He works out of the stretch full time, but this time he has to be aware of the runner over there at first, Cale Barney. First pitch, A mile-high drive into center field. O'Neill drifting back on top of the track. He reaches up and makes the catch. Taryn Carlson gave it a ride, but the ballpark just able to hold it in. 6 innings complete here in Salem. No runs on no hits, no errors, and 1 Berry left on base. To the late innings we go. 8-2, Yakima Valley leads it here at Chemeketa.
John. First. That's what it means. He's over there, your winner. Give it up for Ron Haley and Marion. Metal chips. That's spelling factory. In Salem.
Well, he came in the 6th inning and got 1 pitch on 1 out. So let's introduce you to the left-handed hurler, Damian Catano from Monrovia, California. The left-handed hurler's in his 3rd game. He's pitched now 2 2/3 innings with 1 strikeout and 1 walk. He's given up 9 hits and 7 earned runs with a 27 ERA. So a chance here to work his ERA down a little bit closer to 0 as he'll face Jackson Upton, Cole Hubka in the top of the Pippins order here in the 7th inning. Happy Father's Day, everybody. Glad you're with us on the Pippins YouTube or pippinsbaseball.mixler.com. I'm Harmon Johnsen, your voice of the Pips. The Berries wearing their home whites with red coloring. Normally they wear purple, but honoring a different type of berry tonight than the Marion berry that they're affectionately named after. Pippins wearing the sky blue tops with sky blue hats, gray pants, and green batting helmets. Jackson Upton digs in to face Catano. Pippins lead at 8-2. Hope you had a chance to hang out with Dad today. Either at least send him a text or something. First pitch from Catano misses outside, 1 ball and no strikes. Upton was credited with a hit back in the 5th inning. If you remember, it was a bobble out at second base by Kyson Barney. They credited Upton with a single on the infield. So he is 2 for 2 today as he sends one foul over on the right side to move the count to 1-1. He's got a sacrifice bunt that drove home Jay O'Neill back in the 4th inning when the Pippins put up their first 3 spot. 1-1. Upton sends it foul over towards the entryway. Bounces off the Don Pancho food truck. Count is 1-2. 1-2. Jackson half swing. Did he go? No, says Perry Schofield. 2-2. Crowd here is slowly tapered off on Father's Day. Ballpark claims to hold 1,200 for permanent seating. 2-2. Upton into the screen to stay alive. There are a bunch of picnic tables down the right and left field lines. And of course, general admission, just grass areas as well. So they've had more than 1,200 the past 2 nights, although it's very hard to tell because of where I sit. 2-2. Upton again stays alive. He sent one right over top of the screen. So still 2-2. Sun continues to set. Upton fights off another one. Salsa nearly had that one over on the dugout step. Shifu Hasagawa will track it down. Pippins have action down in their bullpen. Right-hander up and throwing. 2-2. Jackson wins the long battle as he dumps a single into center field. Jackson Upton 3 for 3 today with 3 singles and a sacrifice bunt. Good work by Upton. That'll bring up Cole Hubka. It's not John Witt up there throwing. Might be Dan Bradley here in a 6-run game. First pitch to Cole. Outside, breaking ball, 1-0. A couple more runs would really put the game out of reach for the Berries as we get to the late innings. We're officially 2 hours into the contest here. There's a strike at the knees to even it up 1-1. Pippins hoping to get home sometime before the 2 o'clock hour and really enjoy their off day as Catano comes set before Hubka looks up and engages with him. That's the second or third time that's happened tonight for these Berries pitchers. Again, that's a newer rule in college baseball, and it's made its way to the West Coast League this year. 1-1. Hubka pounds it on the ground over to third. Carlson sends it on to second for 1. Barney relays on to first, but Hubka able to beat it out by about 4 steps. Upton retired on the force play. And so Cole Hubka reaches on his 3rd fielder's choice of the night. He's been on all 4 times. Back to the top of the order for the Pips. 5th time through, Tyson Miller. 2 walks, a ground out, and a strikeout. Hubka a little more speed on the base pads as he turns away from an inside slider, 1-0. Continue to scoreboard watch here in Salem. Bunt shown by Tyson. It's a called strike. Hubka danced off the bag just a little bit, but he stays there. Portland and Springfield now in the top of the 9th inning. The Pickles lead at 12-2 over the Drifters. Looks like the Pickles are going to advance to be 9-9 on the season. Time called. And Perry Schofield says it's a pitch timer violation. Count moves to, well, he signaled 1-1. Thought maybe it would be 2-1. Was it not 1-1 before? 1-1 pitch, hacked on and missed by Tyson Miller. Down in Bend, the Kelowna Falcons lead at 7-1 over the Bend Elks in the bottom of the 8th. Looks like Kelowna is going to walk away with that series, barring a comeback from the Elks. 1-2. Tyson got enough to send it into the screen. Still 1-2. Here's an important one if you're a Pippins fan. Top of the 8th inning, Edmonton Riverhawks leading the Corvallis Knights 7-0. Corvo being shut out at Goss Stadium. 1-2. Hubka takes off. Tyson had it too close to take, so he slices it foul over onto the kids' area in the left field berm. Hubka would have had the base stolen, but Tyson couldn't risk being rung up. 1 out here in the 7th. Cole Hubka chased back to first by the southpaw. If that score can hold in Corvallis, then the Pippins have a chance with a win tonight to be in a tie with Walla Walla for 2nd place in the division. 1-2. Tyson shoots it in the air out to right field, but shallow. Hall will settle under it and make the catch. 2 away. Tyson just didn't square it as well as he wanted to. So now Daichi Furuhata. On the day today for Daichi, he has reached 3 times, a single, a pop-up, a fielder's choice, and a hit by pitch. Hitting here with 2 outs in the 7th inning as stepping off is Catano. Catano certainly more deliberate than Plenert was. Steps off and throws to first, but diving in safely, Cole Hubka. Another score to watch is Nanaimo at Wenatchee. Bottom of the 7th inning up there in Wenatchee, and the Night Owls are up 2-0 on the North Division leading Apple Sox as the first pitch comes into Daichi downstairs, 1-0. You'd love to see the Night Owls beat up the Apple Sox a little bit tonight before the Pippins have to turn around and play them up at the Orchard on Tuesday. Runner takes off. The pitch is high. Throw down to second. The tag applied, not in time. Cole Hubka steals his second bag tonight. Man in scoring position for Daichi, trying to extend this Pippins 8-2 lead. Yakima Valley trying to win their 4th series of the year, trying to win the season series over the Berries. Breaking ball drops in on the outer half. Moves the count to 2-1. The finals today, Ridgefield beat Walla Walla 6-4. Victoria beat Port Angeles 15-5. Bellingham beat Kamloops 6-5. Daichi rips one over to third. This is past the glove of Carlson, and getting the wave around third will be Hubka. Going to be a close play at the plate. Hubka slides in. The ball is dropped by Nolan Rowe. Daichi Furuhata with an RBI single. The Pippins lead it now 9-2. Crowd here complaining to Derek Dunbar, but what do you do when Rowe drops the baseball? Hubka in to score for the second time. Daichi with a multi-hit, multi-RBI day. First pitch to Nick Velasquez, a breaking ball called a strike on the outer half. Good to see the Pippins back in front by a commanding amount. Up by 7, 9 runs, 9 hits, 1 error. 0-1. Nick thought about swinging at an upstairs slider, but he left it alone. 1-1. Berries 2 runs on 4 hits tonight with 1 error of their own. A lot of traffic tonight on the base paths for Yakima Valley. 1-1. Nick couldn't pull the trigger on an outside fastball. It's called a strike by Derek Dunbar. 1-2. Cooler temperatures starting to settle in. It's become a very pleasant evening here on Father's Day in Salem, Oregon. 1-2. Nick sends one the opposite way into left. Scherer twisting around. Now he squares up and makes the catch to put the inning to bed. Stretch time here at Chemeketa. The Pippins extend the lead even more. They score 1 run on 2 hits, no errors, and leave 1 runner on the base paths. It's 9-2. Pippins lead it. Enjoy the stretch. We'll be back for the bottom of the 7th.
Also, fans, the Acorn Dentistry Kids Zone closing at 7:30. Be sure to grab your little ones at 20%. Thank you to Acorn Dentistry for their support of our Marion race. Acorn Dentistry, if a child gets a smile. Like it's a happy birthday.
Welcome back to Chemeketa Community College. Wyatt Robinson on for the Yakima Valley Pippins to pitch for the second time in this series. On the year, they give him 2/3 of an inning. Got a strikeout and a walk. He pitched A couple of days ago on on Friday, that's what a couple means. He went 1 1/3, giving up no hits, no runs. He walked one, he struck out two. So Wyatt trying to build on a good performance on Friday night. And with a 7-run lead, you hope he can just throw strikes. That's really all you're looking for right now. Throw as many strikes as possible and get home here on Father's Day. He'll face Nolan Rowe to start. Nolan Rowe, Damari Hall. Photographer behind me. First pitch. Outside, just a touch, 1-0. Rowe today does not have an official at bat. A walk and a hit by pitch. The 1-0 from Wyatt. There's a fastball down at the knees. 1-1 strike. Robinson's fastball can get up to about 92. So for Wyatt, it's more about keeping it in the zone against these Berries hitters as he misses with the fastball there on the outside half, 2-1. It'll probably be a relatively short leash if he starts missing because, again, with the 7-run lead, all you're looking for right now is a bunch of strikes. You don't want to gift free base runners back to a Berries team that's down by 7. Fastball caught the outer black. It's 2-2. There's a noticeable pop when Robinson comes into the game, one of the higher velocity guys for this squad. He stands with his hands separated, glove at his side, shaking off. Now he comes set, twitching a little bit up there on the hill. 2-2. Rears back and sends a fastball outside to run the count full. Well, Nolan Rowe trying to reach for the 3rd straight time without the benefit of a hit. Would not be the ideal way to start the 7th inning for the Pippins defense. Payoff. Wave and a miss. Nolan Rowe went greedy for a fastball at the knees. 1 away here in the 7th. Pippins failed to throw the ball around as Upton went it right underneath the glove of Hubka over there at 3rd. And we're going to get a pinch hitter here for Damari Hall. Wearing number 9 is Evan Berg. We haven't seen him in this series yet. He played quite a bit up in Yakima when these two teams first met. Berg, an outfielder, will likely stay in right field for Hall. First pitch, fastball stuck at the knees, 0-1. So Evan Berg, again, making his first appearance of this series here in Salem from Kenner, Louisiana, batting .212 on the season for the Berries. 0-1, sent it foul back over our heads here on the press box, 0-2. Berg playing in his 17th game, but just had a couple of days off here at home. One of the guys they really rode to start this season. He's got 13 stolen bases. 0-2. Robinson fires it in, and he blew it right past Berg at the top shelf. Back-to-back strikeouts for Wyatt. 2 away for the top of the order, Danny Weidman. Weidman, 1 for 3 today. Singled back in the first and scored, struck out and grounded out. Weidman, one of the couple of Berries that's been looked at by some pro scouts, gone to a couple workouts recently. First pitch from Wyatt, down and away, 1-0. In fact, I believe Berries broadcaster Cole Weber told me that Weidman was one of a couple that went down to Houston and worked out with the Astros in Dakin Park, which is the big league field. 1-0, sent the opposite way, foul, 1-1. And so the Berries trying to get some guys back to the major leagues. I mentioned the Salem Dodgers earlier in the broadcast. Do I dare bring up the Salem Angels that played here for 7 seasons starting in 1981 here with 2 outs? 1-1. Well, we'll have to wait because this has popped up into center field for Jay O'Neill. Can of corn for Jay. And 1-2-3 go the Berries in the 7th inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, none left on. After 7 complete, the Pippins lead at 9-2 here in Salem. Top of the 8th is next. This is Pippins Baseball.
Jennifer. What's up with it? That? No. Smart. Corner. Blue in second. French. There. Eventually. No, it's shot. The company tracker, I think he got a lot of sponsoring for his trackers.
Catano still out there for the Marion Berries. He'll face 4, 5, and 6 in the Yakima Valley order as the Pippins lead it 9-2 here at Chemeketa Community College. I'm Harmon Johnsen. Happy Father's Day, everybody. Pippins on the verge of their 4th series victory this season, trying to win back-to-back games for the first time in what feels like a couple of weeks and get back above 500. They sit at 10-10 right now, trying to avoid dropping 6 games back on the Ridgefield Raptors with 6 games to play in the first half. Parker Burt got a single back in the 6th inning. He scored. Other than that, strikeout, ground-out, strikeout. Catano's first pitch is a fastball inside to Parker. 1 ball and no strikes. Burt with a 2-run home run last night and his first hit since being injured. 1-0 misses downstairs, 2 balls and no strikes. Couple of bodies moving around down in the Berries bullpen. Catano towards the end of his rope. 2-0 to Parker. Breaking ball downstairs, 3-0. Burt, the designated hitter, if the Pippins so choose, they could pinch run for him and not have to worry about who's going to catch. If Parker reaches, maybe give Parker the rest of the night off. 3-0 taking all the way. It's strike 1. Middle fastball, but Parker was going to force him to throw it. Still got to be selective here if you're Burt. 3-1. Fastball misses outside, and Parker's down to first with a walk. Looks like we will get a runner. Trent Woodhouse, after not traveling on the 6-game road trip last week, I guess is when it was, due to some classes, going to get back into the game here for the Pippins, wearing number 20. So Trent in to run here in the 8th inning. That'll give Parker a chance to rest the night away. Pippins leading 9-2. A little bit of speed out there to try to see if they can break into double digits. Luis Garcia here, taking a first pitch strike on the inner black. Looked to be a changeup, 0-1. Evan Berg did stay in and is playing right field for the Berries. The 0-1 pitch taken high and away. And so after a diving play by Hall a couple of innings ago, he gets pulled due to some poor plate discipline. 1-1. Luis swings through a very slow slider. 1-2. Pippins, when they return home, It'll be Nacho night on Tuesday against the Wenatchee Apple Sox. 1-2, Luis on the ground out to short. A high hop to Dunning. He flips to second for one. The relay on to Barney is not in time. Another fielder's choice grounded into for these Pippins. Woodhouse retired, 6-4. And that's the first out of the inning. I'll bring up Jay O'Neill. Tuesday night is Pips and Putt Golf Night, celebrating sports with smaller balls. So if you want to dress up in your best Augusta attire and come to the ballpark Wednesday, please feel free to do so. First pitch strike to Jay O'Neill, 0-1 on the outer black. And then Thursday is Mullet Mania night. Anybody with a mullet will be let in free. Anybody wanting a mullet haircut will be let in free. 0-1, Jay rips it down the right field line all the way to the pole. It is down, and this is going to run for a while. Garcia getting the wave at third here with one out. Coach Krusty being aggressive. The cutoff by Barney. The play at the plate is not in time. And on the move there, Jay O'Neill takes third base. The Pippins lead it 10-2 as Luis Garcia crosses the plate. Extra base hit for Jay O'Neill, give him his 4th RBI of the night. Derek Almeida up to swing now. They do give it a triple. So now Jay O'Neill, a home run away from the cycle here at Chemeketa. First pitch a strike to Derek Almeida. Unless the Pippins can bat around, Jay might not get another chance to hit. 0-1. Derek chops this one slowly up the third base line, running and stopping on the line. It's an infield single for Derek Almeida. Jay O'Neill scores. You could not have rolled that baseball or put it down on the turf any more perfect. Derek Almeida gets his first RBI of the night. It's now 11-2. Jackson Upton has 3 hits tonight. They're all singles. First pitch he takes is a breaking ball for strike 1. He also has a sacrifice bunt. Jay O'Neill with 4 RBI. Upton with an RBI on 3 for 3 today. Upton takes a pitch downstairs, 1-1. Pippins now lead at 11-2. Great night for the middle of the order. Really everybody from 5 down. Upton taps it very slowly up the first base line. The pitcher, Catano, going to send it on to first. That's out number 2. So Upton out on the 1-3 putout. Moving up to second, Derek Almeida. Number 9 hitter, Cole Hubka. He has grounded into 3 fielder's choices and has walked, so he has been aboard all 4 times tonight, just without the benefit of a hit. A tough 0 for 3 for Cole. Waving and missing on an inside changeup. 0-1. Well, if the Pippins can find a couple more base runners, then Jay's spot might come up to the plate in the 9th. You've got the top of the order looming on deck. 0-1. Hubka pokes it out over on the right side, foul. Lands on the top row of the bleachers. And so Cole down in the count 0-2. Pippins in full control now, 11-2 the score, 11 runs, 11 hits. 0-2 to Hubka, fastball inside. 1-2 the count. Damian Catano being asked to eat these couple of innings. 1-2 pitch, a breaking ball, swung on and missed by Cole Hubka. He strikes out for the first time tonight. The Pippins get 2 more runs on 2 more hits, including a Jay O'Neill triple. No errors by the Berries, and they leave 1 man on the base pads. To the bottom of the eighth we go. Pippins in control 11-2. Berries with 6 outs left on offense. Yakima Valley sends out Bo Lloyd here in the bottom of the eighth inning to face 2, 3, and 4 in the Marion Berries order. Lloyd on the season of 5.56 ERA, 1-0 on 6 games, 11 and a third innings pitched, 13 hits, 8 runs, 7 of them earned, 14 walks to 11 strikeouts. Bo Lloyd last working on the mound in the first game of this series, went 2/3 of an inning. So Noah Scherer, Martin Serrano, Tyler Dunning, the scheduled hitters here in the eighth frame. Upton and Lloyd conversing about pitch mix. And so Noah Scherer, who is over 2 today with a flyout and an error. He also reached on a walk. So he's been on base twice. 1,412 folks announced as the official attendance here at Chemeketa. Pretty good Father's Day crowd. First pitch from Lloyd is upstairs, 1-0. Pippins up 11-2. You might see Carl Mullen Kovash in the ninth inning, trying to get an inning of work in. Looks like the Pippins are just going to rotate guys through inning by inning. Lloyd having worked 2/3 of an inning in Friday's game, available for tonight as he misses inside 2-0. Now, if walks or hits become an issue, the Pippins obviously in the big lead situation, most likely just going to bring another guy in. Last thing you want to do is walk yourself and walk the Berries right back into this game. 2-0, there's a strike right on the inner black to Scherer. Moves the count to 2-1. I mentioned the upcoming schedule for the Yakima Valley Pippins. If you are interested in Father's Day content, we're going to extend it throughout the week. My dad is going to be up in the broadcast booth with me Wednesday and Thursday, just like we had it way back in North Platte in 2024, as Bo Lloyd misses with the fastball upstairs, 3-1. So if you want to listen to that broadcast, tune in Wednesday and Thursday on the Pippins YouTube or the WCL Live app. That'll be fun. Probably going to get my mom on the mic either Tuesday or Wednesday as well. Ask her a bunch of questions. 3-1. Lloyd stays alive with a strike at the knees. Scherer had taken 2 steps down to first, but he returns. Pippins had their Father's Day video release this morning. Had a fun time helping Shay Madison, our video director, put that together. Payoff pitch from Lloyd. Fastball that stayed inside. Scherer turned away. It's ball 4 to lead off the 8th inning. I'll bring up Martin Serrano. Serrano today, 1 for 3, a single, a run scored, grounded into a fielder's choice, and struck out. Francisco Lopez appears to be throwing for the Pippins. Here in the win last night, going 2/3 of an inning and stranding a couple of runners. Big lead over at first. Breaking ball down and in. Time called? No, they're going to say it's a catcher's balk. Upton put the mask down. And after discussion, yeah, out to second base goes Noah Scherer. It was either called a full-fledged balk in the field or a catcher's balk. So no pitch. Toronto in a fresh count 0-0. First pitch of the new at-bat after the balk. Fouled off on the right side 0-1. It's not a new at-bat, but because there was one pitch thrown, it's essentially wiping away that one pitch. Had we been 1-1 and the pitch was a strike, but the balk was called, we'd still be 1-1. It wouldn't be a fresh count. It's probably not the right way to describe it. Ball gets to the backstop, and I've been telling you all the wrong situation. Martin Serrano was hit by the pitch. That's what happened. The live feed just refreshed, and I wasn't looking up enough to see that it wasn't number 11 in the batter's box, but Tyler Dunning, number 40. And so Noah Scherer advanced to second properly, and now advances to third on a wild pitch. Serrano followed behind him. He's at second. That's why I was having a tough time figuring out what situation was. 1-1. Bo misses upstairs. 2 balls and a strike. Pippins' bullpen is working. The Berries haven't scored since the first inning. Yakima Valley leads at 11-2. Dunning is 1 for 3 today with a single and an RBI. 2-1. Bo misses high and tight. That makes it 3-1. Now things get interesting because if you're Yakima Valley, you don't want Bo to just work himself to death out there. But you need outs, need 6. Folks at second and third, the 3-1 pitch is a strike on the inner black to make the count 3-2. Lloyd looking for at least 1 out here. Coach Crustangel out on the top step of the dugout, waiting in anticipation with this result. Payoff pitch. Breaking ball got a piece of Tyler Dunning. So now the bags are full of berries, and Kyson Barney will head out to the plate. Coach Crustangel is going to call time, and he's going to make a pitching change. Bo Lloyd comes in, does not record an out. And so we will have a new arm when we come back. Francisco Lopez coming out of the bullpen. Let's see if El Chingon can lock down this situation. 11-2 Pippins, bottom of the 8th. Welcome back to Chemeketa Community College. Francisco Lopez comes into the game 1-0 on the season, picking up the win last night in 2/3 of an inning. He's pitching in his sixth game, 4 1/3 innings, 1 hit, 1 walk, no runs allowed to this point, 7 strikeouts for Francisco. Bo Lloyd comes into the game, walks the first batter he sees, hits the next 2. Bags are loaded. Scherer, Serrano, and Dunning are the men on the base pads. Here's Kyson Barney. Francisco's first pitch is hacked on and missed by Barney. Kyson Barney, a sacrifice fly in the first inning, a ground out and a strikeout. For Lopez, going to be hard to avoid giving up at least one of Bo's runs, but if you can limit the damage, as Barney swings through a changeup this time, it's 0-2. If you can limit the damage here with this favorable Pippins lead, 11-2 as it stands right now, you feel like it's another successful outing for Francisco. Out of the windup, the 0-2 breaking ball is on the ground over to third. Hubka going to go to second base for one. Daichi relays. The throw to Nick is in the dirt. And so only 1 out. 1 run's going to score. It's Noah Scherer. Moving on to third base, Martin Serrano. Score at 5-4 the putout, and the fielder's choice allows Kyson Barney to reach for the second time today. With nobody out, you can give Barney the RBI. Can't assume a double play, but even a double play would have kept the inning going. So you got runners at the corners now, Serrano and Barney, and Cale Barney now in the batter's box. Lopez to the stretch, fires in a first pitch strike on the outer half. Francisco pitching in back-to-back days. He has slowly settled into this season, becoming one of the higher leverage arms for Yakima Valley. 0-1, a wave and a miss. The ball pops out in front of the mound. Was it a foul ball? Coach Crustangel asking if it was. Derek Dunbar says no. What it clanked against to send it back out to the hill was the shin guard of Dunbar. So it's a swinging strike. Barney advances to second. And down in the count 0-2 is his brother, Cale. Lopez sends home the 0-2. A breaking ball lined into right field. Garcia's going to have it drop in front of him. Strong throw in is going to come all the way to the plate. 1 run's going to score. RBI single for Cale Barney. And the Berries climb back into this game a little bit more. It's now 11-4. Kyson Barney moves up to third. He read that all the way. So it's a couple of Barney bros on the base pads. And Taryn Carlson close the book on Bo Lloyd. 2 runs come home to score. That's not going to help his ERA. No innings worked. 2 runs and 1 walk. First pitch to Carlson is outside swung on, 0-1. Carlson 0 for 3 today, a strikeout, a ground out, and a fly out. Long shadows being cast across the field, at least the infield part of it. On the ground over towards Hubka. He dives, he keeps it on the infield, throws the short way to second. It is not in time. Another run's going to score. Kyson Barney crosses the plate. Cale Barney safe at second. Taryn Carlson reaches on a fielder's choice. And so Lopez surrenders his first earned run of the season. Good job by Hubka to keep that on the infield, though. Had that got to the outfield, might have been more trouble. Pippin's going to send Jackson Upton out to the hill to have a chat with Francisco Lopez. Working in back-to-back days. He's gotten 1 out so far. Home plate umpire Derek Dunbar about to go interrupt the meeting out on the hill. The Bags are still with Berries on the base paths. First and second now, Barney and Carlson. Pippins asking how many visits they have left. The bullpen has gone quiet for Yakima Valley. This is Lopez's inning to finish. It's 11-5. Pippins have scored in 3 straight innings. The Berries scoring for the first time since the first inning as Nolan Rowe takes a first pitch strike at the knees. So Bo Lloyd's traffic off the base pads. Francisco surrendered his first run of his own on the season. 0-1, changeup diving inside, 1 ball and 1 strike. Sam Burgess started this game for the Pippins, went 5 innings, only allowing 2 runs on 4 hits. Torneggi had a great 6th inning of work, facing 4 batters. 1-1, downstairs, 2 balls and a strike. Robinson pitched a clean 7th inning, striking out 2. And then Bo Lloyd comes in, surrenders 3 free passes. Francisco Lopez now trying to clean up the mess. 3 runs have come home. Runners at first and second. 2-1, a half swing by Nolan Rowe. Evens the count up 2-2. Pippin's trying to find an out or 2 on the base paths. Double play gets you out of it. Yakima Valley's turned to 1 already today. They have 20 now on the season. 2-2 from Cisco. Wave and a miss. Nolan Rowe strikes out swinging. That's his 2nd time doing that tonight. Out number 2 of the 8th inning, and now here's Evan Berg for the 2nd time. Berg 0 for 1, pinch hitting in the 7th inning. He struck out. He took his place in the field in the 8th. Pippin still lead it 11-5 here on Father's Day. It's gotten a little bit more tense, though. Berries with their first run since the 1st inning. Berg with a home run hack, swings through it. 0-1. Let's see if Cisco can work his way out of this jam, only allowing the 2 runs of Lloyd and 1 of his own. Pippin Sticks will have the top of the order due up in the 9th. 0-2 now as the pitch stuck at the top corner to Evan Berg. World of possibilities here for Francisco Lopez. Just needs 1 more strike. Berg waiting in the right-hand batter's box. Cisco looking back towards second. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. It's pounded hard on the ground out towards third. Hubka on the run. The throw sails over Velasquez. And here comes 1 run. Turning at first and moving on to second will be Evan Berg. Costly error by Hubka over there at third. Keeps the inning alive. He had time. He just rushed the throw. So Barney comes home to score, stopping at third, Taryn Carlson. Back to the top of the order. This is the 9th hitter to come to the plate here in the 8th. It's now 11-6, and the Berries have life. This is what happens when you walk hitters. First pitch inside, 1 ball and no strikes. Francisco goes back to the full motion with runners at second and third. Pippins have a couple of bodies stirring in the bullpen. 1-0, changeup misses inside, 2 balls and no strikes. (11-6) the score, and Coach Salscheider going to call time. Salsa heading out to get the bullpen hot. He's going to give him a few extra seconds to get started as he talks to Francisco. 11-6. 4 runs here in the frame for the Berries. This inning started with a walk and 2 hit by pitches by Bo Lloyd. That set up bases loaded, nobody out. Francisco Lopez got a ground ball that got 1 of the outs in this frame. And now 2 more have come across since, thanks to a fielder's choice, single, fielder's choice, strikeout, and error. 9th hitter in the inning with 2 outs. Lopez fires in the 2-0 pitch. It's a breaking ball called a strike on the outer black. Well, the Pippins are going to want to extend the lead a little bit in the ninth with the top of the order due up. Tyson Miller, Daichi Furuhata, Nick Velasquez. 2-1 from Cisco, fouled back to the backstop. So now 2-2, and the Berries down to their final strike here in the eighth. Crowd starting to get back into this contest as the Berries have life here in the late innings. Lopez out of the full windup. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Breaking ball called strike three. Down looking Danny Weidman and Francisco Lopez able to get 3 outs after a mess was left by Bo Lloyd. 4 runs come home for the Berries, a total of 1 hit and 1 error, and 2 men left on the base pads. We go to the ninth inning. It's 11-6. Pippins looking for some insurance when we get back to the top of the ninth. Top of the ninth inning and the last chance for the Yakima Valley Pippins to extend their 11-6 lead here on Father's Day. Tyson Miller, Daichi Furuhata, Nick Velasquez scheduled to hit. Hopefully a couple more after that as the Pippins lead the Marion Berries by 5. The Berries got 4 runs in the 8th inning, and so they have a little bit of life. Time for the Pippins to silence this crowd who wants to come back and try to win this game. Pippins trying to get over 500, trying to move into second place in the West Coast League South in a tie with Walla Walla. Coming into the game for the Berries is Luke Bailey, pitching in his fifth game. No record yet. 5 innings he's worked. A 21.60 ERA, though. 7 hits, 13 runs, 12 of them earned, 6 walks, and 8 strikeouts. His K/9 is 1440, but his whip is 260. He's hit 2 batters as well. Tyson going to need to be patient against this right-handed arm as the Pippins try to extend the lead. 11 runs on 11 hits and 2 errors for Yakima Valley. 6 runs on 5 hits and 1 error for the Marion Berries. Miller so far today 0 for 3 with 2 walks. First pitch is a strike right over the heart of the plate, 0-1. Pippins bullpen stirring around after Lopez able to get the 3 outs. Looks like John Witt has grabbed a ball. Not a save situation right now. Tyson shoots it foul on the left side out of play. But definitely a situation where you don't want to allow much traffic. John pitched in back-to-back days against the Bend Elks, and the second time he actually blew the save and took the loss. 0-2 pitch. Tyson takes a ball high and away, 1-2. They might have to turn on the lights here tonight. It was a 5:15 first pitch. It's now 8:02 as the sun starts to cast a huge shadow with the press box and a tree over the infield. 1-2. Bailey delivers. Down and away, 2-2 strikes. Most of the damage that Bailey has allowed has come on the road. A 40.50 ERA in 2 innings on the road. 9 of the earned runs he's given up there, but he's given up 3 runs here at Chemeketa. 2-2. This is outside with a fastball. The count runs full. Pips trying to get the leadoff man on. If we can get down to the 6 hole, Jay O'Neill sits a home run away from some more West Coast League history. Payoff pitch to Tyson. Got a piece of it to send it foul past the Pippins third base dugout. Still alive, 3-2. Francisco Lopez, his night is done, so Pippins will definitely have a new pitcher. Francisco's already out of his jersey and into his warm-up top. 3-2 strikes. Payoff to Tyson, a ball high and away. So after Bailey started him off 0-2, Tyson coaxes his 3rd walk of the day, and the Pippins have the leadoff man aboard. Pressure put on immediately for Yakima Valley. Here comes Daichi Furuhata. Coach Crustangel puts the signs on in that third base coaching box. We'll see how aggressive the Pippins are here. Up by 5 here in the 9th inning. Daichi shows bunt, but he takes a breaking ball down and away for ball 1. Furuhata today has 2 singles. Both of them drove home a run. He's also grounded into a fielder's choice, popped up to the second baseman, and was hit by a pitch. Daichi has scored twice today. Showing bunt again. 1-0. He pulls back, and the ball dances down and away, 2-0. Bailey coming in a much more high-pressure situation than I think people realize. Yes, it's a 5-run lead for Yakima Valley, but your team just scored 4 runs. And so you're in a spot where you need to allow no runs to come across. Daichi shows bunt again. He pulls back again as the pitch is outside, 3-0. Now what do you do? If you're Daichi, you might be taking all the way here and seeing if you can coax a back-to-back walk scenario. Daichi squares. Third baseman Carlson coming in. Daichi's going to take a strike at the bottom of the zone to keep the at-bat alive for Bailey. 3-1. Pippins put on the play. Coach Crustangel with his various signs. Daichi still squaring. 3-1. He drops it down and it chops high off the plate. Bailey was going to throw to second, but he pivots halfway through and throws on to first. Sacrifice bunt for Daichi Furuhata. And a man is in scoring position with 1 away for Nick Velasquez. Bailey was falling over backwards as he was maybe trying to throw to second. He skipped it in to Barney over at first. Play almost went wrong. Here's Nick Velasquez, a lefty, to face the right-handed thrower as the first pitch is dotted on the upper outer corner, 0-1. Velasquez, 2 strikeouts, a line out, a fly out, and a double today. That makes him 1 for 5. 0-1 pitch outside. 1-1. Parker Burt would have been on deck, but he was subbed out in the 8th inning for Trent Woodhouse. So Trent has a bat in the on-deck circle. 1-1. Velasquez takes one down and in. Moves the count to 2-1. Trent Woodhouse didn't travel with the team on the road trip last week, and so he has not seen much action at all. 2-1 pitch to Nick. A breaking ball right at the letters, 2-2. 2-2. It's upstairs. The count runs to 3-2. Full count here. Trying to bring Tyson home. He won't. It's a wave and a miss. Down on strikes is Nick Velasquez, and here comes Trent Woodhouse.
Now batting number 20 in the ranking with Allen.
Woodhouse taking his first hacks in quite a while. First pitch downstairs. Love to see Trent come through here in a potentially clutch situation to extend the lead to 6. Saws one off the end of the bat into the netting. It's 1-1. Trent, another one of these outfielders the Pippins seem to be loaded with. Stepping off over there on the mound is Bailey. He looks Tyson Miller back into the bag. One ball and one strike. Trent chops one behind the plate. It's foul. So it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. John Witt finishing his warm-ups down in the Yakima Valley bullpen. One, two. Trent just got a piece of it. And that one got a piece of Nolan Rowe. So Woodhouse trying to come through here in a tricky situation. Tyson Miller out there at second base. Sun setting here in the top of the 9th. Pippins lead at 11-6. Bailey set. Tyson not going. Woodhouse swings and misses. Bailey gets the strikeout. The Pippins get no runs on no hits. There were no errors and 1 man left on. Here comes John Witt. Bottom of the 9th. 11-6 the score. The umpire's going to go have a chat with the Berries. A couple of words being said by the Berries as they walk off the field. We'll be back. Some late innings fireworks here at Chemeketa Community College. John Witt comes into the contest here at Chemeketa Community College. Bottom of the 9th inning on your Father's Day. Pippins lead at 11-6. Not a save situation for John, but 3/10 outs need to come here in the bottom of the 9th. He'll be facing 2, 3, and 4 in the Marion Berries order. Noah Scherer, Martin Serrano, and Tyler Dunning. John Witt earned the save last night, going 2 innings, 1 hit, no runs, 1 walk, and 1 strikeout. There were a couple of words that were said as the Berries walked off the field. I don't know who started, don't know who was going to finish it, but the Berries were having a couple of words out towards the Pippins offense. 5 runs is the deficit that the Berries will have to make up to force extra innings. If you're John Witt, you got to be careful because you saw the whole batting order last night, or a big chunk of it. 8 of the 9 hitters saw John Witt from the 8th inning on. Of course, Sawyer Nelson's not playing today. Gavin Price, Matthew Major, Hudson Flora not playing today. Neither is Colin Linteo. But Noah Scherer was. After drawing a walk against Bo Lloyd, he's hungry to spark the rally here in the 9th inning for the Berries. Witt had some high-pressure pitching last night, as the first pitch he gets is a ground ball over to Hubka. He sends it across the diamond. Nick has to fall down on the bag, but he does so. 1 pitch, 1 out. Hubka's not exactly the most accurate over at the hot corner, but he gets the job done. Here comes Martin Serrano. That's got to be a big breath of relief for John Witt. You get 1 pitch on 1 out. It was a little bit of an adventure, but Velasquez is able to jump up and land on the bag, also applying the tag. The lights start to power on here at Chemeketa Community College. Serrano today with a hit, a walk, a strikeout, and a fielder's choice. First pitch down and away. Bounces away from Upton. 1 ball, no strikes. Pippins trying to win back-to-back games, trying to take the season series from the Marion Berries. 1-0. Fouled back between the legs of Upton. 1 ball and 1 strike. John, a competitor out there on the hill. Hopefully those few words that were said before he even came into the game by the Berries don't end up in anything after this game is over. But you know he's got a fire lit under him. 1-1. Breaking ball slipped out of the hand. He looks down at his right hand and says, "Why'd you do me like that?" 2-1. That's one of those you just kind of have to laugh off in a 5-run ball game like this. So Serrano ahead 2-1. Pitch from Witt, drilled into center field. O'Neill fighting the sun, but he will make the head-high catch. And the Berries are down to their final out here in the 9th. Here on Father's Day, the Pippins have been in control since the 4th inning when they scored 3 runs. They would go on to score 3 more in the 6th, 1 in the 7th, 2 in the 8th. Of course, the 2 runs in the 1st inning. The Berries had a little bit of a rally in the 8th, scoring 4. But now a huge mountain to climb here as Tyler Dunning is the last hope for the Berries. First pitch, a strike, a fastball that Dunning could not pull the trigger on. On the day today, he is 1 for 3 with an RBI single. Pippins took the series up in Yakima, trying to take the series down here in Salem and win the season series. 0-1. Witt fires a breaking ball, just missing outside, 1-1. Jay O'Neill falling a home run short of the cycle tonight. He had 4 RBI. One ball and 1 strike from number 11. Pitch. Sent out into the right center field gap. This is getting down. This is going to be extra bases. Garcia cuts it off right on the warning track. It's going to be a 2-out stand-up double for Tyler Dunning. The game will continue to at least 1 more batter. Perfectly placed double in the gap. So that's now 6 hits for the Berries. 2 outs still. Kyson Barney digs in. Barney, a sacrifice fly way back in the first inning, a fielder's choice in the eighth that drove home a run. First pitch he sees is swung on over towards the entryway, 0-1. The Berries lead the all-time series 7-4, but the Pippins trying to get it within 2 games. Down here in Salem, the Berries lead it 4-1. This is the last time these two teams will meet, barring a playoff meeting. 0-1. Fouled off Upton's gear and fouled off of Derek Dunbar. That's now back-to-back nights that he's been behind the plate, Friday and Sunday, that on an 0-2 or a 1-2 count, with 1 strike left to get in the game, Dunbar gets hit by a foul ball. Coach Crustangel out there to check on him, training staff out there as well. He's kind of laughing about it too. I think Krusty just told him that, man, you seem to get hit by foul balls when my guys have 1 strike left to get. All smiles from the battery and open umpire Derek Dunbar. Kyson Barney down to his final strike. The Berries' last hope here. Out at second base, Tyler Dunning. 0-2 pitch from Witt. Just enough off the knob of the bat. Kind of a half swing. So the count still 0-2. Witt not in a save situation, just trying to lock down a series win. Another 0-2 from John. Sky high into shallow left field. Miller coming in, fighting the sun, leans forward, drops the baseball. High sky and setting sun leads to likely an error out there in left field by Miller. A run comes home to score. Tyler Dunning did not stop. Now, Kyson Barney did stop, so he's going to be at first base. Third error for the Pippins tonight. E7, you can call it. Here's Cale Barney. First pitch fouled off into the Berries' first base dugout. 0-1. So 11-7 now the score. John cannot pitch himself into a save situation. But with every batter that comes up to the plate, that tying run inches closer and closer. Time to get the job done right here. 0-1. Wave and a miss on a changeup. It's 0-2. And again, the Berries are down to their final strike. 11-7 the score. 11 runs on 11 hits, 3 errors for the Pippins. 7 runs, 6 hits, 1 error for the Berries. The 0-2 pitch to Barney. Chopped foul over on the first base side, and the game stays alive. Witt just needs 1 more strike to send us home happy for a 4-hour road trip into an off day. No balls and 2 strikes here on your Father's Day, wrapping it up. A check over to first, and John chases Kyson Barney back to the bag. Not likely that Barney was going to run in a game where every out matters, especially now that the 27th is the last one that the Pippins need to get. 11-7, the 0-2 pitch swung on and missed. Catching it behind the dish, Upton, and John Witt on back-to-back nights closes the door against the Marion Berries. Final score, Yakima Valley 11, the Berries 7. And although it got interesting there at the end of the game, the Pippins come out victorious. They win the series 2-1. They win the season series 4-2 and hold the tiebreaker over the Marion Berries should it be needed later on this season. The win is going to go to Sam Burgess, who went 5 solid innings. The loss is going to be tagged to Colton Amai Nakagawa, who gave up the lead, and the team never got it tied. No save needed in this contest. as we started at 5:15 p.m. We end at 8:21, a game time of 3 hours and 6 minutes. In front of a crowd of 1,412, the Pippins are victorious 11-7. Jay O'Neill fell a home run shy of the cycle. I'm going to go talk to him down on the field. We'll see who else pops up as well for the post-game interview. And the Pippins head home into an off day tomorrow before welcoming the Wenatchee Apple Sox on Tuesday. For everyone associated with the Yakima Valley Pippins, I'm Harmon Johnsen signing off from Salem saying, stay safe, have a wonderful rest of the night. Happy Father's Day, everybody. And the Pippins are victorious 11-7 down here at Chemeketa Community College.